It's time to unload some deals at the Truckload of Savings event. If you've been waiting to upgrade, we've backed up the savings with unbeatable offers on our toughest Fords. Right now, haul away exactly what you need and take advantage of massive price drops across our entire lineup, including the legendary Ford F-150 for the job site or the weekend getaway. Shop the Truckload of Savings at niskuford.ca. Nisku Ford, above expectations.
Need an excuse to upgrade your ride? Well, we got a few to share. Go Auto has over 18,000 new and used vehicles ready to test drive right now. With more than 70 locations, your perfect match could be closer than you think. A family-friendly SUV for soccer practice, a fuel-sipping commuter, or a hardworking truck that's ready for anything. Trusted brands and a team that's actually happy to help. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show.
Off to Xander Horvath. He is in the clear to the 40, to the 30, to the 20, to the 10. Xander Horvath will score. BC up 7
On Sports 1440.
BC knocking on the door. Caden Schulter has his team in position here. Looks deep. The receiver. Touchdown. BC. Jermaine Jackson.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Position against Blue this year. And rushing absolutely tees off into the mortar.
It's just after 2 o'clock. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show on this positive Friday. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, Mackenzie McLennan with you here, guiding you through your Friday afternoon. As lots to get to on the program, we've got a very busy show. As always, the show is brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Of course, tonight you've got the $15 million Lotto Max. Also tomorrow, 649 Gold Ball Jackpot, $40 million. You do have to show up, buy the ticket to play. We've also got specials at playalberta.ca/sports. Of course, the long one, the Oilers to finish first in the Pacific Division. They're due. And then the rematch tomorrow night. Elks -2, under 60 points. Boosted as well. Go check it out, playalberta.ca. Remember to use your game sense. You can always reach us 1-833-401-1440 or email me, Connor at sports1440.ca. Lots to get to on the program. Are you going to talk about the Hlinka roster? Oh, yeah, we could probably take a look at the Ivan Hlinka roster. Sorry, Gretzky Hlinka roster. Got to stay current, right? We'll get to that. Of course, lots of football talk, both Canadian and south of the border. Now, Bill Schmidt's going to join us. He is the Green Bay Packers post-game host. We'll talk about what's going on out in Wisconsin this season. Jordan Love and company looking to keep it going here. I've long said that this team has a lot of good receivers. I didn't think they had any great receivers. They're trying to get there. Obviously, they drafted Matthew Golden. They've got a few other guys there that I like. They've lost a few. We'll see what he thinks about this team. Get an update on Micah Parsons, who was expected to miss, I believe, up to 6 weeks. We'll also go to New York, talk some hockey with Colin Stevenson. Covers the Rangers for Newsday. Arif Hassan will join us, talk some NFL and the Minnesota Vikings. 2 NFL guests. I told you, football today on the show. Cam Tate's 2-minute warning. We've got Wanye Gretz going by the round table. Eddie Steele will preview this weekend's game. We talked to him last week ahead of the game, and he thought the Elks would find a way to win. That's what he said on our radio show. I thought so too. They got the job done. We'll see if they can do it again tomorrow. A spec will be by, and Alan Mitchell as well. So make sure you keep the text rolling in here. 1-833-401-1440. 14:40. We've got a couple more tickets to give away to the game. And in case you missed the big news, of course, it was announced. It was hinted at the last couple of days. Chris Morris joined us on the program yesterday talking about, if they could sell another 1,000 seats, they would open up the second level and giving season ticket holders the option to potentially move up from those low corner seats. And it looks like it's happened. And I'm sure this is going to get a lot of people getting out there. We had a lot of people text in to the show saying, hey, if they open up that second level, I'll get out there because that's where you want to watch the football game from. And I don't have to tell you guys, if you've been to a game, lower level's cool. Like being up close to the action is fun. You get to hear the pads. You get to see the athleticism from these guys. But being up second level, you just get a chance to kind of take it all in. So I think that was a really good move here. Sure, there's going to be a lot of Rider fans. That was going to happen no matter what. But a lot of fans, I think, are going to go back there. Tailgate's going to be amazing. It's a 5 o'clock start. The weather looks quite nice. Chance of rain. We'll have to see if that holds off. Even a little rain. Come on. It's not that big of a deal at all. I saw all you guys out there at the concerts last weekend. I saw y'all at the Riverhawks game. We can handle a little bit of rain as long as it doesn't get too crazy. So it's going to be a fun one. We'll talk about that on this show today. We're also going to hear Chris Morris as he spoke to the media earlier today. Deck, I know you live in Edmonton. You cover the team very well, I might add, for Elks Nation and Sports 1440. But the blood's thicker than water. You've come from a long line of Saskatchewan Roughrider fans. The rematch is going to be fun, but you've been to games in Saskatchewan. The atmosphere is what makes it. The older fans know, and we're going to get into the numbers here in a minute here, just how good attendance has been in the past. But we're shaping up to have north of 30, maybe 35,000 people there, Deck. That's unbelievable.
Oh, it's incredible. This is actually really funny timing. There's going to be an article I wrote going up on elksnation.ca today about what, 30 plus thousand mean in that crowd for the team and for the organization and for the fans. And, you touched on it a little bit, like part of how I started the article was talking about me as a young fan and just thinking that this was the preeminent league and that these guys were rock stars. And so much of that was because of what that crowd was. And you mentioned the Saskatchewan games. Yeah, it's nuts there. But at Commonwealth, like you would see it filled, 50,000. I was looking at the average attendance when I was 8 years old. I think it was like 41,000. When I was 12 years old, they had a game that had 62,000 people out there. Like it was environments like that just made it feel so special. And so I wrote about that a little bit, but you make such a good point. Like the atmosphere, it's one thing to, do what you're doing and have success, but it's another thing to captivate the masses. And I think that's where the Elks find themselves now.
Yeah, I'm with you. And finding a way to put out a entertaining football game. Like, hey, wins are great. I will never dispute that. But if you're getting a 7-3 win, not a lot of people are going to be into it. Hey, there's those who love a great defensive battle, and you want to see them win. But, I mean, we're seeing points being put up. Justin Rankin, you never know when he's going to pop off. TJ Luther is really coming into his own. Austin Mack, of Cody Fajardo is going to find his guys. You're getting interceptions on the defensive side of the ball. Like, I think the casual fan wants to go there. They want to see big plays. They want to see big hits. They want to cheer and have a good time. So this could be it. Like, they're playing an entertaining, exciting brand of football. The Rough Riders are a good team. It's going to be awesome. Some changes to the lineup for the Edmonton Elks. Joe Cooper and Carter O'Donnell going to draw into the lineup. Cam Carter and Jacob Plamondon drawing out of the lineup. Plamondon goes on to the one-game injured list for the Rough Riders. A lot of changes. Quali Conley going in at running back. We know that AJ Willett onto the 6-game injured list. Not good news for them. James Burgess at the defensive back spot comes in. Linebacker Ryder Varga, and then linemen Derek Robertson and Eric Anderson. Roland Milligan Jr. also defensive back for the Rough Riders going on to the 6th game. They took out Fry, Pate, Hoskins. That's going to be one game in practice roster for those guys. So some changes, a couple new faces for the Elks having Carter O'Donnell. We know how big that is. Deck, just want to get your thoughts. You've been following this team through camp. To get Cooper and O'Donnell into the starting rotation there for your offensive line, just how big of that is it for the green and gold going into this one?
Yeah, well, huge to get Carter O'Donnell back, obviously. I mean, he is phenomenal, whether he's playing guard or whether he's playing tackle. Played a lot of right guard when he came up last year, playing left guard this year, locking it down. They got some really good guys between him and Coulter with Manzi, two phenomenal guards. Coulter, when he's healthy, obviously, he's a great player. The strange one to me, and by the way, you talk about the injuries. We'll get into this later in 5 questions. The line opened at -1.5 for Edmonton. It's been bet to 2.5 for Saskatchewan. And they have all those injuries.
Yeah.
So that's very, very, very strange
Edmonton.
to me. Yeah, very strange to me. But Joe Cooper, that's a weird one. Cam Carter, he was the guy who did replace Coulter Woodmansey. I thought he was playing really, really well. And I didn't see any indication of this. And Joe Cooper, he'd been a practice squad guy. So you don't always get the most indicative views of what he can do in practice. But that one really shocked me. Like I always like to, do what I can to not ball watch and watch as many aspects of the field as I can and go back and rewatch the games and focus on certain position groups. But I will be taking a vested interest in that right guard spot. 'Cause I didn't think Cam Carter had played that bad at all.
You going to be at the game?
Go ahead.
Are we going press box together?
You're press boxing it?
I was hoping to, if they'll let me in.
No, they'll let you in. Come on. You're like a king around there. I'll be there. Stack the water bottles, guys, if you're listening.
Yeah.
At Go Elks, stack the water bottles. There's never any water bottles in that press room. So get a couple in there for the boys.
Crush a couple Diet Cokes and you'll be good to go. That's all you need.
Yeah, but those keep you up. What they really need is diet-free root beer, but I'm not going to ask for that. Just a couple more water bottles.
You know what I have in the mug today?
Diet-free root beer?
No. Sugar-free Dr. Pepper, but the blackberry version.
Oh, you got me a can of that the other week, and it was a lovely treat for me.
Who had the idea?
That was the best birthday present I've got since I was 9.
That wasn't even your birthday present.
It
Wait till you see
like
your
it.
birthday present this year.
2 cans of
It's gonna
Dr.
be
Pepper.
massive. Whoever came up with that idea, shout out to you. It's a weird one, but you attached any flavor to Dr. Pepper. I think I'm going to be in. Let's do some more sports talk here because random soda is probably not the biggest thing. Good afternoon, Norm. Thank you for joining us from the Combine. MTR says Green Bay in the basement. MTR does not like Green Bay, and he does not like Jordan Love. But we'll have the post-game host coming up next segment to look at that. What I do want to do is hear some comments from Chris Morris, and he spoke to the media today after their walkthrough. After we hear those questions, I got some numbers for you in the stats of the day. But right now, let's hear from the president and CEO, Chris Morris, when he spoke to the media after the walkthrough earlier today down at Commonwealth.
Organization's excited. It's going to be great for the players to have a true home field advantage where it's noisy and their offense has a hard time functioning. And that's, we're hopeful that right from the beginning of the game, it's a hostile environment for the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
So what are the exact areas that are available, and is anything even small amounts left in the lower?
So I'll give you my version of exact. It's in the middle up there. Up there in the middle. If you go to Ticketmaster, then you can get the exact details, but it's right in the middle of the field. We're opening up the $100 seats that go up there because all the $100 seats are gone from the lower bowl. So if there's still lower discounted seats around the lower bowl. So until that's all full, then we'll fill up the rest of those up the top. So
Chris, how satisfying does it feel to know that you're now at that point where the fans are coming back?
Yeah, I'm more happy for our staff and for the players. There's been some people here who put a lot of work in over the years and done really, really good job. And I'm just happy for them to have, it's a public job here. When you work for the Edmonton Elks, you're a public persona. So you walk around the city, and if you're not doing well, there's that element of you feel like people are watching you and not and everybody's walking around with some pride now. And everybody's walking around like they feel like they're part of something special. And that's what it needs to be. And whether you win or lose, if you feel like you're part of something special, that's a great place to work. And you're not always going to be 6-1, but if you have confidence in what you do and how you do it, you're always going to feel good. Getting to 6-1 gives you some credibility. So now, even if things don't go well, or there's another time period where things aren't going, we come back to the anchor of, we know we do things the right way here. We know we feel good about the way we do things here, and it gives you resolve and it gives you resiliency to continue forward. So I'm very, very happy for the people here that have suffered through some of this.
So how important will it be, this might be a silly question, for the team to win Saturday night when they got the big crowd and everybody's expecting a good result?
Yeah, it's always important to win, right? That's what we do. It's professional football. I think winning is the priority over everything else, right? And to me, having a packed house gives these guys an opportunity to show everybody who they really are. It's a great football team. We're playing against another great football team, though, so it's going to come right down to the wire. And that's the way the CFL is. There's so much parity in this league that you're going to play in games every week where you're going to have to make 2 or 3 plays that they haven't made in order to win the game. And I know our guys are excited. We have guys who get excited about those moments. And I think when you have people like that, you got a good chance.
Yeah, Cody said this week, this is what we've worked for. Is having a full house and a big crowd. Tell me about your players and how they feel that, and they also feel the pressure of performing well with a big crowd.
Yeah, I would hope they don't feel much pressure, because I think that their resolve and the way they've done things and playing together and making sure they do all the little things right and thinking about the moment in front of them, all the stuff that Marks talks about with them on a daily basis will insulate them a little bit from the stage and the moment that it's going to exist when there's 30,000+ in here. You know, I imagine at the beginning of the game, there'll be a little bit of, you know, butterflies and all that sort of stuff. But the reality is, once it all starts, for the players, a lot of that kind of goes away. And especially when you're at home, when it's a big crowd, because what happens is that big crowd ideally intimidates and makes the opposing team really struggle through things. But at home, you just feel support. So it just feels good for you when you're at home.
Even though the last couple seasons with all like attendance and everything, do you ever think you're going to get to this point this year?
Yeah, you know, we were last in attendance 2 years ago. Last year we moved up 2 spots, and we've got a steady increase in our attendance and in our perception of the city, and you know, in our performance on the field and in a lot of areas. So like we anticipate being better. This is Edmonton. Like if we have a good product and we have something that the people can resonate with, they're going to come watch. And we feel we have those kind of people in our locker room. We feel that people feel great about what they're seeing on the field and how they're playing. So I'm confident this is going to continue to build.
Do you think some of the other games this season the
Yeah, I sure hope so. You know, like we got to keep playing well, and there's a lot of things that have to keep going well for us. But I'm hopeful that like 2 or 3 times this year we have to open up the upper deck. It's 30,000+. Like I really like, I'm a competitive person. Like Winnipeg had 32,000+. Like if we were over 33 on tomorrow afternoon, then we have the top gate in the CFL for at least one game, right? And that's how it starts, one game at a time. You get it for one game, then maybe you get it for 2 or 3 games where you beat somebody else for the top gate. And then game by game by game, you improve. And then, you know, by the end of it, you never know where you might be.
There you go. Chris Moore speaking to the media. Thank you to the Elks for that audio. It takes us into the stats of the day. Brought to you by All-Star Construction. Founded in 2009, they continue to grow. They're hiring general laborers, a hydrovac operator, backhoe operator, gas piping technician, and more. Go to Indeed.com and search All-Star Construction. And I looked into it because Chris talks about the last couple of years and, you know, being last in the league in attendance and improving upon that. So I went back further. 2023, the Elks were 3rd in the league in attendance with 24,774 people. That's average per game, behind Saskatchewan and Winnipeg. In 2022, it dropped down to just over 23,700. Again, 3rd spot between those 2 teams. In 2021 is at 26,000. They were 2nd behind Saskatchewan. Now, you go before the COVID break to the Eskimos. In 2019, 29,000 behind Saskatchewan. In 2018, at 31,000, second to Saskatchewan. 2017, averaging 32,000 people, second to Saskatchewan. And in 2016, 30,000, just under 31,000, second to Saskatchewan. But in 2015, they were 1st in the league in attendance. They won the Grey Cup that year, averaging just over 31,500 people per game. And in 2014, they were 1st in the league at 33,485. Going back to 2008, 2009, the Green and Gold were averaging over 37,000. In 2020 or 2003, 2005, when they were right in the thick of things, this is when I got into it, averaging 41,000. In 1983, they averaged 50,000 people going to Commonwealth every game. And in 1982, 57,000. That was coming off a 14-1-1 season where they won the Grey Cup. Deck, do you think that would be the most attendance by a CFL team throughout a regular season?
So I looked this up.
Damn.
But to your credit, I did kind of forget. I think either BC or Montreal or maybe even Toronto one year had like 61 as their average attendance.
I might have missed it, but the highest I could find was the Alouettes, 59.5.
That might have been what I was looking at as well.
They went 11-5 that year. They beat the Green and Gold in the Grey Cup 41-6. Also played in Olympic Stadium.
Yeah,
they've been bouncing around stadiums. So there you go. The Edmonton Elks. Will they ever get to 57,000? I don't know, but I gotta think averaging 31, 32, heck 33. It's got to be attainable. They can get there. Keep winning football games. Keep building that next generation of fans. Keep doing what they're doing, and you got an opportunity. Now, you want to give some tickets away? I came up with another question regarding the Green and Gold. And Deck, I played a little receiver in high school, played a little touch football receiver as well. My question for you guys, and all you have to do is answer. There's no right or wrong answer, but text into 1-833-401-1440 and tell me this. Games on the line. Warren Moon's under center. 10-yard line. You have to throw the ball to someone. anyone in green and gold history, Brian Kelly, Fred Stamps, Terry Vaughn, Tom Scott, Mookie Mitchell, Jason Tucker, Ed Hervey, you want to maybe surprise people and throw a screen? Maybe you're going to dump it off to Mike Pringle. Just text us. Who would you be throwing the ball to win the game? 10-yard line, down by 5. You need the touchdown. Who are you throwing the ball to? Send us that in, and we'll let one person win. Brian Kelly, right now, the most popular answer, which is fair. He was very good. Why are we promoting sugar-free sodas? They taste so bad in comparison. If you're going to be unhealthy and drink a pop, just drink the regular one. Well, I couldn't find a regular blackberry Dr. Pepper, Aaron. That's why. Just bringing it up. And Declan likes the sugar-frees. We can all enjoy whatever we want.
Way healthier than the full sugar ones.
Do they taste better?
No, they taste worse.
It's true. We'll take a break. When we come back, we are going to talk some green and gold football. But the American variety is we talk some Green Bay Packers. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, Mackenzie McLennan with you here. Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
And here comes Action Electrical Service Team sprinting onto the scene. These are your first responders for any electrical emergency.
That's right. With their fleet of service vans and specialized gear, they assess, they service, and maintain electrical lighting and automation systems. They're all about rapid response.
Quick diagnostics and repairs to restore power and safety fast. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Silent Ice Sports and Entertainment is an innovative market leader across Western Canada. Properties include the Spruce Grove Saints, the Junior Prospects Hockey League, Silent Rides Charter Company, the Hockey Super League, and the newly launched Female Super League. Silent Ice also owns the Western Hockey League Seattle Thunderbirds and operates the Morinville AAA Arena. The Silent Ice Center, a new state-of-the-art entertainment facility in Nisku, features 2 sheets of ice, a 1,600-seat arena, as well as Summit Restaurant. Learn more at silentice.com.
It's cone season at McDonald's, which means vanilla cones are $1 each plus tax in the McDonald's app all summer long. Soft, creamy, and crunchy. For just $1 each plus tax exclusively in the McDonald's app. App download and registration required at participating McDonald's in Canada.
Okay, new strategy. I'll just live in the freezer till October. It's spacious in here. It's spacious.
There's a better way to survive the coming AC season. Pro Solutions is your one-call solves-it-all expert for AC repairs, tune-ups, and new installations. We offer convenient financing options and fast appointments so you can enjoy your entire home, not just the freezer.
Now I can leave the frozen peas where they belong.
Book now at prosolutionsinc.ca.
Everything is going to be okay. If you're feeling the weight of too much debt, you have options. I'm Dan McDicken, a licensed insolvency trustee with Faber. Becoming debt-free is possible, and a personal bankruptcy or a consumer proposal will get you there. Schedule your free Faber Focus session at faber.ca today. You'll learn how a consumer proposal will eliminate your debt by paying a percentage of the amount owed without interest. At Faber, we've got your back.
The Lawnmower Hospital. If you're looking for the best zero-turn mower, go to the source. Hustler Turf and the Lawnmower Hospital. Hustler Turf started the zero-turn market in 1964, and they're still the kings of quality, durability, and performance. With versatile sizing from 34 to 104 inches, you'll have what you need to make your summer lawn care a breeze. Financing is always available. Check lawnmowerhosp.com.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
You've got better things to do than wait for an oil change. Jiffy Lube gets you in and out fast. No appointment necessary. All you have to do is roll into a location near you, and we'll take care of the rest. Every full synthetic oil change at Jiffy Lube is warranty approved and comes with a 20-point visual inspection, making sure you get back on the road safely. Find your neighborhood Jiffy Lube today. Visit jiffylubeservice.ca.
At Papa John's, we know it's not just a pizza. It's a family gathering. A happy birthday, a special celebration, or just a sigh of relief at the end of a busy day. For a limited time, get large one-topping pizzas for only $14.99 each on original, thin, or New York-style crust. Use promo code L1499 at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app. Get yours today. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Are you a skilled laborer? All Star Construction wants to talk to you.
A heavy equipment operator with track hoe or backhoe experience? All-Star Construction wants to talk to you, too. With work in and around Edmonton for local land developers, All-Star Construction offers year-round employment. Whether it's power, gas, or telecom, developers rely on All-Star Construction to get the job done. So if you're a skilled laborer or a heavy equipment operator with track hoe or backhoe experience searching for work, search All-Star Construction on Indeed.
Come on down to the Brick for your chance to win over $1 million in prizes. They're giving away mattresses, appliances, big screen TVs, and more. No purchase necessary. 1 in 10 will be a winner. Plus, the Price is Right live event kicks off with incredible 5-day deals, like save $70 on a 32-inch 1080p QLED TV. The low cost at just $129. Thursday through Monday only. Some conditions apply. See in store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade: safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Portions of this hour brought to you by the Nation Golf Tournament. Friday, August 28th at Millwoods Golf Course. Golf, drink, swag, food, and fun. Every swing supports Gregor's grads and helps graduates shine on graduation day. Sign up at nationexperiences.ca before it sells out.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Sports 1440 streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and Twitch. Go check it out. Give it a thumbs up. Maybe subscribe if you haven't done so already. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, and Mackenzie McLennan with you here. The show brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Go check out the Gregor Show specials at PlayAlberta.ca. And remember to use your game sense. I just loaded up Ticketmaster here to look at openings. Like, you're looking from the 5-yard lines to the other 5-yard line, essentially sold out. Like, they are packed. The corners a little more open. They open the second level, U2, T2, and S2. Those are the seats you can buy. If I were to click on one of them, I'm sure I could tell you some prices here. But they're going. People are definitely buying tickets. The party deck tickets are only just $28. So make sure you go down there. That's actually a really good time. I've had a lot of fun there in the past. You just kind of mingle, have some drinks, not drink, and you'll enjoy it. We're going to be giving away tickets to the Elks game tonight, like I said, or tomorrow. I said all you have to do is answer this question. I'm putting you in a situation. You're on the 10-yard line. 0's on the clock. Down by 5. Which Eskimo or Elk receiver are you throwing the ball to? There's a lot of good options, and a lot of good ones have come in. If you were to ask me, I'd probably be saying corner route to Mookie Mitchell or Jason Tucker. Always found that one to be unstoppable. From the hands of Ricky Ray, probably. He would drop it in there all the time. We might have to ask our next guest that when it comes to Packers history, because they also got a pretty good history of very good receivers. It'll be our big guest of the day, brought to you by the Spruce Grove Saints. The Spruce Grove Saints are looking forward to opening night, September 18th, and a spectacular 2026-27 season. Saints Hockey School runs from the 24th to the 28th of August, all ages. That's U9, U11, U13, and U16. You can sign up today at sgsaints.ca as we head down to Wisconsin. We're going to talk some Green Bay Packers with a man who does the post-game show, also the host of the Morning Huddle on Fox Sports 920. Bill Schmidt joins us. Not the first time you've joined us on the show. Bill, thanks for coming back. How you doing?
Phenomenal. Thank you. And thank you for that nugget, that question. That is absolutely going to make an appearance on the show because that is one of the great call-in responses. And the use of the corner route down there near the goal line, That's a dangerous play, but I like it a lot.
We up in the CFL have some big end zones, and they utilized it a lot in the mid 2000s. Ricky Ray was a stud for the Edmonton Eskimos. He actually went and played for the New York Jets for a year before coming back up here. And he was very good, very accurate, throw it right on the break, and it was almost impossible to cover. So let me ask you, a lot of Green Bay Packers receivers, a lot have been very good. Who is it for you? Who's the receiver you're throwing to?
Well, it's difficult for me at this point because the brush stroke in the first one that should come to every Packers fan's mind should be one of the greatest players of all time, just that none of us saw, Don Hudson. If you really want to look up Tyreek Hill before Tyreek Hill about 70 or 80 years ago, near war times, that was Don Hudson coming out of Alabama, where he was just galloping and running right past every single human being. His receiving numbers were absurd at a point where they didn't really throw it. That being said, modern day, I'll go Sterling Sharp, just went into the Hall of Fame a year ago. Just a big physical-bodied man. I'm going slant. I'm going right onto the chest, old West Coast offense. It's coming from Brett Favre in his first 3 years. Sharp never got to the Super Bowl with Favre because he had a devastating career-ending neck injury. One of the reasons why it took him so long to get into the Hall of Fame. But remarkably deserving, and when you put up Sterling Sharp's peak, it goes up there with every receiver that's in Canton, Ohio.
That's kind of where I thought you were going to go off the top. And it's funny for me because, you mentioned Hudson, there's Adams, there's Sharp, Lofton, Driver. I don't know why I went to Javon Walker. I just remember him popping off one year. I was like, he was pretty good. Not the best by far. And obviously his time there was probably not as long as Packers fans would have hoped for. But for whatever reason, he just came to mind. And this kind of works out well into our transition because for a long time, I used to do a show that was primarily focused on fantasy football. And we would talk about the Green Bay Packers receivers. And I thought, they have 4 or 5 guys who can pop off at any game. Now, they've moved on from a couple. They drafted Matthew Golden in the first round. Christian Watson, when healthy, can be a stud. And then you've got a couple tight ends as well. So some pretty good targets there for Jordan Love. I've got to ask you, what are your expectations for the guys like Matthew Golden and Christian Watson this year?
It's probably the most enjoyable conversation just leaving training camp today, where we're doing a show, Training Camp Live, and we're in the stands area and we're getting to comment the play-by-play style throughout the practice, and everything offensively, starts and ends with the quarterback, and the Packers want to be establishing a ground game. That's probably the first thing that Matt LaFleur would love to be able to say that they're hanging their hat on. But their offense is going to be predicated upon how much and how quickly and how often they're able to get the ball to Christian Watson, Jaden Reed, and Matthew Golden. And last year, it wasn't necessarily a fault of Jordan Love. Their 5 best position players did not have 1 snap on the field together in 2025. Golden, Reed, Watson on the outside. Tucker Kraft, who was on his way to an all-pro season before he tore his ACL, was back at practice today for the first time this year. And then Josh Jacobs, who's a former all-pro and former league leader in rushing. Those 5 guys didn't have 1 snap together on the field in 2025. In 26, them staying healthy will be the biggest part. But I'm really bullish on what Matthew Golden does in year 2. In year 1, there were too many times, Connor, where he was the gotta have it down guy. He would be the person you're looking to on a 3rd and 1, a 4th and 7 game on the line, season on the line in their final drive against the Bears. Jordan Love goes back and hits Matthew Golden. He has the touchdown in the Bears game, his first one all year. Packer fans have been clamoring and waiting for during Packers OT, our post-game show. So he's a puzzling guy, but I think his ceiling is 1,000-yard receiver and a lot more volume than you would anticipate. Speed-wise, everyone thinks that's a gadget player and somebody that you're going to utilize only going deep. He's a really, really true route runner, and I think he's going to showcase a lot of that this year.
Oh, I'm looking forward to seeing it for sure. Now, we have a few, I will say, Jordan Love. I guess, the only way to say it would be haters on our text line. They don't believe in Jordan Love. Last year, we saw him, put up pretty good numbers. Malik Willis was there. He moves on to Miami. They bring in Tyrod Taylor. How would you say, Packers Nation, I don't know what the official fan base name is, the Cheeseheads. How are they feeling about the quarterback situation heading into this season?
They would have their dukes up against your text line. However, there's a large portion of them, maybe not, maybe dwindling portion of them, but a portion of Packers fans that are in the same boat that, you become accustomed to a certain standard of living. I believe that rather confidently. And when you watch the position be played at maybe the best level a franchise has seen for 3 straight decades, it's hard to lower your standards to not being MVP caliber the way Favre and Rodgers played quarterback here for a long time. So there's people that have really lofty and high expectations for what that position brings. I think Jordan is right in the midst of another year where he takes a step up. Last year was a career year in terms of his numbers, and he ended it losing a playoff game where he throws for 4 touchdowns, 325 yards. And doesn't turn the ball over, and they lose. That's a wild stat line to have. But he also completed less than 60% of his passes. I think that consistency is something that has to get better. But there's a belief around a lot of NFL circles that you're either a sabermetrics analytics guy and you love Jordan Love, or now the eye test people are saying, well, I watched the Cleveland game where he threw the ball right to Grant Delpit and basically threw the game away. He also put them in position to go win the game again. They got the field goal block. So he has done this a number of times where the game-winning drive category for Jordan Love would look a lot different if they were able to cash in on a couple more of the opportunities that he's put them in. That being said, they're only going to be able to win multiple playoff games if he puts and strings together performances like he did a year ago. Long-winded way of saying the jury is still somewhat out. However, I think he's a top 10 quarterback in the league, and I think that'll showcase itself a little bit more this year.
Bill Schmidt joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley sitting in. He is the host of Post Game for the Packers as well as the Badgers football team. We should probably talk about that maybe towards the end here. But Bill, some changes on the coaching staff, of course, over the offseason. Jonathan Gannon coming over to be the new defensive coordinator, and Jeff Hafley, formerly the defensive coordinator, goes to Miami as the head coach. I would assume he took a couple members of the Packers staff with him. Defensively, there's some questions now for Micah Parsons and when he's going to be ready to get back out there. But what do you think of the new defensive coordinator, and how's the unit looking? Because there are a few new faces out there.
A few, and I think a couple of them fit really well with Jonathan Gannon. Obviously, he was head coaching Arizona. They also bring in Bobby Babich, who was the defensive coordinator for the Bills last year. Now, I know a lot of people would say Bills defense didn't light anybody on fire, but they weren't the reason they lost that playoff game. The reason they lost that playoff game was because they turned the ball over 4 times, right? So I think there's a lot of new on the defense, but their core players are a lot still the same. They have the same cornerbacks that are going to be taking the field. Keyshawn Nixon and Carrington Valentine, probably maybe second-round pick Brandon Cisse is able to have something to say about that and crack the starting lineup there. But they bring in Zaire Franklin in the middle of the defense. Quay Walker left in free agency, didn't speak super glowingly about his time in Green Bay on the way out. And I think some of it was there was always an expectation that he would be a tick better as a first-round pick. Zaire Franklin is a guy that just knows how to perform in the NFL. He's former All-Pro inside linebacker. He's going to be the one with wearing the green dot. He's going to be the guy who his pass coverage took a step back a year ago in Indianapolis, but they're expecting big things from him to allow second-year linebacker Edgerrin Cooper to really flourish. He's got all the talent in the world, Connor, and it's a dude that led Texas A&M just 2 years ago in tackles for loss, sacks, forced fumbles, and interceptions. Like that he shut the box on leading them in every defensive category. He's a remarkably athletic player, but their defense was built last year, him becoming an all-pro. Somewhere he stopped at good starter. They're anticipating that Zaire Franklin's consistency next to him allows Cooper to take that next step, and I think that's where Gannon's multiple looking and schemed defense is going to put him in a lot of advantageous positions, showcase a lot more of his athleticism, come off the edge, and they're going to be a little bit more of an aggressive style defense. I think earlier today, one of the highlights of camp was, or highlights of practice today was a first play of a team period where saw Keyshawn Nixon coming off the corner and he would have had a wide open sack of Jordan Love. So their explosiveness to take care of some of the athletes is important, but their safeties are probably their best position group. Xavier McKinney, who had 8 picks a couple of years ago and is an all-pro, rightfully so, leads it, and he's next to Evan Williams, who's one of the more promising young players at that position. But they need to take the football away more, plain and simple. I think they had 14 takeaways a year ago after having a year where they were near 30. That's a split that can't happen if you want to get all the way home. And, not only just get all the way home in January and February, but this is a team kind of that hasn't won the division since 2021, hasn't hosted a playoff game since the 49ers came in here and won in that divisional round when you were the number 1 overall seed. So it's been a while since the Packers have won and been kings of the North, and I think that's the first goal that the defense is going to be tasked with doing here this year.
And I mean, you look at this Packers team, you drop it into a couple other divisions in the NFL, they probably run away, win first with ease. That being said, it's not how it works out. You've got the Bears who are solid. I think the Lions bounce back. The Vikings, we'll see how their quarterback play is. How do you foresee this division playing out?
So I was bullish on Green Bay winning it a year ago. I know that's a shock. 13 weeks into the year, I felt pretty damn good about it. I felt pretty good before Zach Tom and Micah Parsons both were lost for the year in the same game in coinciding drives in Denver. And ultimately, the Packers season went from a mile high to a mile in the tank. And it was mostly because of the injury factor. It was a huge loss for how they played. And I'm rather excited for another year with how this core is able to grow. That being said, I think the Bears are still very, very good. There's a lot of people that I work with, a lot of people in the NFC North and across the NFL that are calling for some massive regression from Chicago. I think their head coach is legit, and I think their quarterback is really, really legit. That's a dangerous pairing to have. How they replicate their turnover luck will be concerning. They had 38 takeaways a year ago. You split that in half, and they're a totally different team. They get half of them. That would be an impressive number because they lost a lot of interceptions in Kevin Byard and Deshaun Wright. So I think Detroit, understandably so, is the favorite with the schedule, but they need to prove it to me, Connor. I don't know how you feel about it, how they're going to replace up front, losing Frank Ragnow, and now again losing one of their core offensive line guys for a long time in Taylor Decker. He's been their left tackle for over a decade. He walks out the door, and I don't know that they've fully replaced that on a team that was built on the trenches. I think Green Bay is a really, really good bet at over 2-1 to win the division because I still think talent-wise, they and Detroit are the two best teams, but still would not be surprised if all of a sudden we look up in the middle of December and Minnesota is within a game because Kevin O'Connell is one of the better coaches in football. This is a really, really competitive division, and so much of it is going to hinge upon whatever happens in the quarterback room there in Minnesota. They have maybe the best skill position guys in the league, or definitely in the division. And when you talk about their pair of wide receivers, Hawkinson, when healthy, is as good as any tight end in football. And I really like their running back room with Aaron Jones and company as well. They're a fascinating outfit, but they were a negative at the most important position. I like Green Bay to win it, but I think it's once again them and the NFC West is the two best divisions in ball far and away.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be absolutely awesome. We had a Lions guest earlier on in this today on a different show I was hosting, and the talk was, well, Penei Sewell seemingly looking okay, sliding over to left tackle, and then it's how can Blake Miller do going into this one because it's going to be tough. Certainly he's going to face a lot of pressure in that division. Before I let you go, last time we spoke, it was the day that Micah Parsons was traded to the Packers. And I think you were going to the Wisconsin game. They went on to beat Miami, Ohio. Then they beat Middle Tennessee State. Then the schedule got really tough. Alabama, Michigan, Iowa, OSU, Oregon, Indiana. It was tough, a long stretch. How are you feeling about the Badgers this upcoming season?
Well, I feel a lot better kind of for one reason that they don't have, as you laid out right there, the toughest schedule in FBS. They were rated the toughest schedule in FBS a year ago. I think they were top 5 the year prior too. And Ian, it's difficult to not point to somewhat of an explanation as they've lost the transfer starting quarterback they had each of the first 3 years under Luke Fickell, but I mean, they were objectively bad a year ago. In the middle there, they get shut out 34-0 against Iowa, who has been relatively one of your most normal counterparts, right? The team that you would stack up against in your program looks a lot like Iowa. They didn't look like they were in the same conference when Iowa shut them out in October. Then the next week they hosted Ohio State and once again got shut out. At that point, it's real easy to pack it in and wait the final 5 games. You got a lot of guys making business decisions in a business climate of college football. They actually had the exact opposite. They rattled off 2 top 25 wins. The 2 best wins under Luke Fickell were at home against Washington and at home against Illinois a year ago. So I think they're in a much better position. They've spent a sizable amount of money compared to what they have over the last 3 years. My real question, though, Connor, and this is going to be one of the tough things to be able to see in college football this year, how much different is your $26 million you're spending compared to everybody else? Pete Thamel was on the Pat McAfee show earlier today or yesterday and said that, the cheapest roster in the Big Ten is probably about $25 million. That's what reportedly Wisconsin is spending on their roster. It's a big investment as to where they were, but if that's where you are in the league, difficult to be playing under those circumstances. So I'm cautiously more optimistic, but I'll talk to you after the Badgers open up against the odds-on favorite to win the title in Notre Dame at Lambeau Field, and I'll have a much better idea as to what we might be in for this year for Bucky.
Chance to shock the world. It's going to be amazing. I'm looking forward to that game. Well, Bill, thanks so much for doing this. Really appreciate it.
Connor, really appreciate you having me on, man. Thank you.
There you go. Bill Schmidt covers the Green Bay Packers, the Badgers, and Wisconsin sports. I'm looking forward to any extra football we can watch. CFL, college, NFL, whatever we get, I am fired up for it. We'll take a quick break here. When we come back, we're going to talk some New York Rangers. It is the Jason Gregor Show, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
You see it? Fusion Promo Marketing can make it. Fusion makes high-quality, memorable promotional products for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. From vision to reality, get noticed and remembered. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
Say hello to Alberta's home for reeling and dealing. With Play Alberta, you can spin into the excitement of popular slots like Cash Eruption and Desert Fantasy. Experience Alberta-exclusive games and get in on the action of live dealer tables with all new elevated stakes. However you prefer to play, the fun is ready when you are. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Are you a skilled laborer? All-Star Construction wants to talk to you. A heavy equipment operator with trackhoe or backhoe experience, All-Star Construction wants to talk to you, too. With work in and around Edmonton for local land developers, All-Star Construction offers year-round employment. Whether it's power, gas, or telecom, developers rely on All-Star Construction to get the job done. So if you're a skilled laborer or a heavy equipment operator with trackhoe or backhoe experience searching for work, search All-Star Construction on Indeed.
Kickoff is coming August 1st. Elks, Roughriders at Play Alberta Field at Commonwealth Stadium. The prehistoric party is back, presented by Purolator Tackle Hunger. Experience family-friendly fun all game long with a dinosaur-themed contest. Get your tickets at goelks.com/tickets.
It's dollar drink summer at McDonald's. Sip on a refreshing small fountain drink or a small iced coffee for just $1 each plus tax. All summer long. Only at McDonald's. Excludes flavored and cloud iced coffees. At participating Canadian restaurants. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
He came home, and right away I saw that look in his eyes. I knew what was coming. Before I could even speak, he raised his hand
and just kept texting me over and over, asking where I was, who I was with, demanding I respond immediately or I'd regret it. I couldn't escape.
Because he stepped in front of the door and locked it. I didn't know where to go. I was completely cut off.
From my friends and family. He deleted my social accounts, changed my passwords, blocked their numbers. I had no way to reach anyone. And that hurt.
More than you can imagine.
Tech abuse is real abuse. If you or someone you know is using technology to harm or control, change is possible. Learn how to end the violence at alberta.ca/endgbv. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. Your weekend hotspot is OTR. Party with Edmonton's best live bands every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Your bar, your party. Jasper Ave at 118. On the Rocks, yay.com.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
248, welcome back. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Of course, you got the Lotto Max going tonight, 15 million, PlayAlberta.ca. Also, check out the sports section, the Jason Gregor Show special, boosted as per usual, and use your game sense, PlayAlberta.ca. Right now, we are going to go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's. It's dollar drink summer at McDonald's. Sip on a refreshing small fountain drink or a small iced coffee for just $1 plus tax. All summer long, only at McDonald's. And we take our off-season tour out to New York. We're going to talk some Rangers with Colin Stevenson. Covers the team for Newsday. Colin, good afternoon. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great, Jason. How are you, man? I'm enjoying my off-season.
Oh, well, I imagine. So have you got a chance to enjoy the summer? Go out and do anything?
Oh yeah. You know, when your team doesn't make the playoffs, the summer's long, man. You got a lot of time to do a lot of stuff. So I've made the most of it so far, I think.
Good to hear. Well, the offseason, I'd say the Rangers have probably made the most of theirs as well with some good moves. The fan base has to be excited. Pavel Dorofeyev has to be the big one. That surprised a lot of us, I think. Consecutive 35-plus goal seasons in the postseason. He had some huge games, finishing with 12 goals in the 22 games in the Vegas Golden Knights run to the Stanley Cup playoffs. I'll just ask you your reaction to this deal when it happened, and what are your expectations for him in the lineup this year with the Rangers?
Well, my reaction is about what your reaction was. I was caught completely off guard, totally by surprise by this move. I'm sure most people were, and it's a great move. I love it. I think it's not only does it bring them a player that Chris Drury, to his credit, used he had cap space. He obviously saw that Vegas was in need of some cap space relief, and then he was happy to take Dorofeyev off their hands. Great move by him. Gives them not only an element that they've been missing in that a pure finisher who can score goals and big goals, but he also gets them younger, right? I mean, he's only 26 years old. If you think about who was carrying the load for them offensively, I mean, it was Panarin, who was 34 this past season, and Mika Zibanejad and JT Miller and Vincent Trocheck, who are all 32. So now you move Panarin out. You subsequently traded Trocheck. You bring in Dorofeyev, who was again not only a finisher, which they were lacking, but also a young guy. So a great move all around. They gave up some draft picks, yes, but they had plenty of draft picks to give up, and I think it was a fair price, and I think it improves them a lot. Now, does it improve them enough? That obviously remains to be seen.
Yeah, I tell you, a lot of Oiler fans out here were thrilled. Dorofeyev has a very bright future. To get him out of the division, I think it was a lot of good riddance. See you later. Best of luck with the blue shirts. And on the back end, the Rangers, I thought, did some really good work. They get Sean Durzi from the Mammoth, Marcus Pettersson as well, kind of redoing that blue line. What do you think those guys will add, and where do you expect them to slot up here in the pairings?
Well, so I think together, those two guys will probably make up the second pair, right? I mean, it makes perfect sense. They already have the first pair in place with, Vlad Gravikov and Adam Fox, and that was a great first pair. The big problem with them last year was that Fox got hurt a couple of separate times and missed a whole bunch of games, and they were kind of thin below that. So, I think if you have Pettersson and Durzi skating together as a second pair, that's a pretty good top four. Pettersson, as we know, has played. They got him from Vancouver, but he played in Pittsburgh for Mike Sullivan for parts of 5 seasons. So, he's familiar with the system, obviously, and the coach is familiar with him and his game, and obviously signed off on it. What it'll do is, I think Durzee's got much more offensive potential than had Will Borgen, who he replaces in that second pair right D role. And so now it gives you the opportunity of maybe expecting a little bit more contribution from the defense than they did, because previous to this, the only guy that you could really count on, from the back line to give you offense was Adam Fox, who was on the first pair. And then, Fox was in and out of the lineup, and Gavrikov turns out all of a sudden to have a career high in goals, and he had a great season offensively as well. But still, those two guys are playing on the one pair. So you do need to get offense from other places in the lineup. And now you have a second pair with Durzi there, who can probably help you out and chip in some goals and some points here and there. And also run a second power play, right? I mean, they didn't have a point man for the second power play all season long. And it showed so much more when Fox was hurt. And then they had they tried Panarin in the point, and they tried Gavrikov on the point, and then they didn't have a second point man for their second unit. So it helps them out in a number of ways in terms of providing offense and just better defense overall in terms of being able to move the puck out of the zone when you get a hold of it. They had problems with that, and Mike Sullivan identified that as a need on breakup day.
Colin Stevenson joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley sitting in for the vacationing Jason, looking at the New York Rangers. And I got to ask you about the local product, Matthew Robertson. It's crazy because I was thinking about that. I'm like, he just played on the team a couple of years ago. It's been more than that. He hasn't been here since 2021. Since then, a couple seasons with the Hartford Wolfpack, and last year really got into the lineup, appearing in 72 games at 18 points, 6 goals. So what did you make of his progression on the third pairing?
I liked a lot of what I saw. He was interesting. He's a guy who he's not a bold personality. Like, he's kind of a quiet guy, and like for a long time he walked around that locker room like he wasn't sure he belonged, and he wasn't sure he wasn't going to get yanked and sent back to Hartford at a moment's notice. It took him a while, I think, to get comfortable. But he gave them what they needed. He was a good, solid defenseman in his own end. He's not an overly physical guy, but he's a big guy, and he can move people around. And he I think was one of the brighter spots in a bad season. Let's face it. I'm curious to see now, though. At the end of the season, he had gotten bumped up from the third pair and was playing on the second pair because they had traded Carson Soucy, and so Robertson was playing on the second pair. So he'll now be replaced presumably by Marcus Pettersson. And I don't know that it's a lock that he's going to be the third pair left defenseman because, as you know, they drafted Albert Smits with the number 5 pick overall. And as you know, of all those guys, those defensemen that were elite and were thought to be, top end guys, Smits is the one that everybody said is most NHL ready. So I think we'll see. He's signed, and so we'll see if he has a chance to make the team. If he makes the team, he's not going to make it as a 7th defenseman. So therefore, if Smits makes the team, then I don't know what that says about the future of our pal, Matthew Robertson. But it's also possible that they want Smits to get a little bit more seasoning and start the season at Hartford, learn the small rink and the North American game and all that kind of stuff. So don't quite know yet where Matthew Robertson is going to fit. I'd assume he's going to be here with the big club, but I can't promise that.
Colin, we know the track record for Mike Sullivan, the head coach of the Rangers, obviously a couple Stanley Cups with the Penguins, about a decade ago, also gold at the Olympics. What did you think of the job he did his first season with the Rangers?
I thought it was good. I think, listen, it's hard for us to tell. We're not in the meetings. I don't know exactly what the strategies are when, you watch them practice the breakout, you watch them practice their zonal defense. That was a big thing that everybody talked about at the beginning of the season because Peter Laviolette, who preceded him as the coach, is a man-to-man defense guy, right? I mean, Carolina plays a man-to-man defense. That's kind of passed down from Laviolette, who passed it down to Rod Brindamore, and that's what they do over there. And so when Laviolette was with the Rangers for those 2 years, they played a man-to-man system. And Sullivan comes in and they play a zone marking system in their own end. And so guys did have to make an adjustment. So that was a lot of the, discussion in the beginning of the season. It seemed like they got they adjusted quite well to it. It was fine. I think their defense actually wasn't bad. And those were the kinds of things that Sullivan was able to effect, right? I mean, he can put in a structure and things like that. What he had little control over was the fact that they couldn't score goals. You remember the first 3 home games at Madison Square, first 3 of the season, they got shut out. So they really struggled in the early part of the season to score goals, and that haunted them all season long. And then they had injuries and things kind of fell apart and all this kind of stuff. But I think I'd say, from an outsider's perspective, I thought he did, a good job. But, you expect that. You expect that from a guy with his track record.
Colin, thanks a lot for joining us on the show today. Really appreciate it.
Oh, it's been my pleasure. Anytime I can talk hockey in July, it's awesome.
Yeah, but go back to enjoying the summer. We won't bother you again for at least, let's see, 6 weeks.
I'm here anytime you need me. You know that.
Thanks a lot, Colin. There you go. Colin Stevenson covers the New York Rangers for Newsday. Give him a follow on X at Colin S. Newsday. We'll take a break. When we come back, should be joined by Wanye Gretz of Oilers Nation. Arif Hassan will join us, talk some Vikings, look around the NFL, plus Cam Tate's 2-minute warning, read by me. But right now, let's get to a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Go Auto. Shop over 17,000 vehicles at goauto.ca with 31 new vehicle brands and 73 locations to choose from. Find your car at goauto.ca. Here is Declan Kruger.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
One final today in the MLB. It was the Yankees over the Cubs 2-0. Next game up will be the Pirates and the Reds at 4:10. Phillies and Orioles at 5:05. Then at 5:07, the Jays playing host to the Cardinals. Dylan Cease on the mound in that one. Riverhawks out in action in Kelowna. 7:35 first pitch for that one. And CFL Week 9 continues on with the Alouettes and Red Blacks at 5:30 tonight. Tomorrow at 5, we will see the Elks play host to the Roughriders. Joseph Cooper into the starting lineup. Cam Carter out. News from around the sporting world as Tony Romo has been placed on leave by CBS Sports following his arrest. The Roughriders placed running back AJ Ouellette on their 6-game IR. And the San Jose Sharks have re-signed Colin Graff to a 3-year, $12.75 million extension. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440,
A Stingray radio station.
broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth, fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, and boom, you've got your value. Text value to 780-777-7777 to start. That's value to 780 all sevens. Why guess what it's worth? Let Go Auto show you the money.
At Papa John's, we know it's not just a pizza. It's a family gathering. A happy birthday, a special celebration, or just a sigh of relief at the end of a busy day. For a limited time, get large one-topping pizzas for only $14.99 each on original, thin, or New York-style crust. Use promo code L1499 at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app. Get yours today. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Summit Restaurant, located in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Summit is your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. Cheers. Experience the perfect blend of flavor and ambiance in a modern setting. Join us for a straightforward yet elevated dining experience where our commitment to quality speaks to every bite and sip. Make Summit Restaurant your next night on the town.
At GS Construction, people grow with the company. 50 years of experience doesn't live in a binder on a shelf. It lives in our people at every level, passed down on every site. Many of us started with a shovel in our hands and built whole careers here. The work is honest. The company's been around since 1974. So if it all sounds good to you and you want to grow with us, GS Construction is currently looking for experienced pipe layers and topmen. No shovel required. Visit gsconstruction.ca today.
What if you could hire motivated, safety-trained youth with no risk and funding to support you? At Careers the Next Generation, we make hiring easy with funded internships across Alberta in trades, IT, forestry, and more. Interns are WCB covered, complete high school accredited safety trained, and arrive ready to contribute from day one. With 42% of RAP students completing their apprenticeship by age 22, you get skilled workers faster. Spots are filling up. Visit careersnextgen.ca today.
Wow, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at ewell.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
For over 60 years, the folks at Diablo Boots have been selling the best Canadian-made boots. Handcrafted in Winnipeg, Canada West makes the best quality cowboy, biker, and work boots for Diablo Boots with replaceable soles and heels. Why buy cheaper quality like Ariat, Justin, and Red Wing made in China when Canadian-made is better? Support Canada's workers and Diablo Boots for the best boots. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Canada West and Diablo Boots, the two best names in the boots business.
School's almost out, and road trip season is just around the corner. But if your brakes sound like they're grinding harder than a hockey fourth liner, it might be time to visit Napa Auto Parts. Napa has all the quality parts, tools, and know-how to help keep your vehicle running smoothly and road ready. With over 85 locations in Alberta, visit your local Napa store today or shop online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
Portions of this hour brought to you by CanTorque. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at CanTorque.com.
The Chase and Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
This is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Of course, tonight, the Lotto Max, $15 million. And then tomorrow, Lotto 649 Gold Ball Jackpot, $40 million. PlayAlberta.ca, Connor Halley. We got Declan Kruger, Mackenzie McLennan, keeping us on track on the streams, the YouTube, all that sort of thing. Go check us out, Sports 1440 AM. Make sure to subscribe. Lots to get to still on the show. Arifa Sound's going to join us next. We'll stay in the mighty NFC North. Talk some Minnesota Vikings. Take a look around the NFL with him as well. We got Cam Tate's 2-minute warning. We got the round table. Eddie Steele, Speck, Low Tide, Wanye's World. I think Wanye's not here yet, and he hasn't texted me. So I think he's coming in, but we might be without him today. In that case, we'll do Declan's World at 5:40. So start thinking up some topics, Deck. Text line says a lot of things. Man, a lot of people going the Kelly route. Brian Kelly, as the receiver they would throw to. In a situation, we're giving away tickets. We'll do that again probably around 5:40. The question today, very simple. You're on the 10-yard line. Let's just say you're the quarterback. You can throw to any Eskimo or Elk receiver of all time. Down by 5, 10 seconds left on the no time on the clock. 10-yard line. Sean's going, I'm going downtown. Eddie Brown. Brandon says, I'm going Gizmo on a screen. I do kind of like that one. I like it. Declan actually said QB draw with himself at quarterback. He'd make it work. That one, I think, is a good one.
No. I said QB Jocks. I thought Warren Moon was my quarterback.
Okay. Either way, I do like the creativity, like catch him off guard.
If I did have to throw to someone, I think just because of like my era, it would be Fred Stamps.
Right.
He was the guy.
Tyler agrees with you. Kyle goes Bowman, Jim Germany, Brian Kelly. Everyone's kind of going Brian Kelly, though. It's a very popular one. Rich says, give me Danny McManus to Darren Flutie. Oh, buddy. Number 82, Darren Flutie. I do recall those days. That was probably when I was first getting into the CFL. JC Glazer going Jason Tucker, Titan. Terry Vaughn, high and deep, back of the end zone. Yeah, like Terry Vaughn, you're on the 10-yard line. You could probably throw it to him at the 5, and Mr. Yak would get the job done. He was just unbelievable. Just get the ball in his hands. Good things would happen. And I do think that would have worked as well. Just the old play it into the corner. He'd make it happen. We get a text here. Ryan says, Ennis Jackson, who was a defensive back. So you're going to put him at receiver and throw him the football? Hey, it could be the out-of-the-box thinking we need. A lot of times teams will throw receivers into the defensive back position. Remember when the Miami Dolphins put Gronk on the field? Sorry, the Patriots put Gronk on the field against the Dolphins and lost because of it, because he couldn't really turn the corner? James says, receiver, Tommy Scott, number 22, guaranteed touchdown. That's funny because Scalding Gord follows up with Tommy Scott. He was so reliable. Crotch has a little hitch to Mookie Mitchell. I put big boy Eddie Steele on the wide receiver for a button hook from Brandon. We'll have to ask him about that. Now, he played on this team. I'm curious what he would do. He might be looking at a Darius Bowman, who had some monster years for the green and gold back in those days. Phenomenal player. I'd love to say, well, no, I'm not going to go into it. I'm not going to be negative. It's Positive Friday here on the Jason Gregor Show, so I'm not going to be negative. MTR says, Eddie was on the onside kicks hands team. He's an athlete. Oh, the versatility that Eddie provided for the green and gold, offense, defense line, whatever you need. I think you could probably move him around, get a few good reps on the outside, throw him in at tackle or guard, maybe center. I wouldn't mind it. We'll ask Eddie about that one. I mean, right now, he looks like he could probably go out there and run a few reps at wide receiver. He does not look like he played along the offensive line. 1-833-401-1440. We will give those tickets away at the end of the show today. So make sure you're tuning in. And, if you're feeling confident in your answer, throw us your email and full name as well so we can make sure we get you the prize. 1-833-401-1440. I don't know if you guys saw it last night in the CFL. The BC Lions surprising a lot of us, going out to Winnipeg, taking on the Bombers. You're down your starting running back. You're down your top 2 quarterbacks. Although there could be a discussion about number 2 on the depth chart for the BC Lions. Maybe they should have made that change earlier. But they go into Winnipeg, big 35-19 win. And, I mean, that to me is good for the Elks. It kind of keeps the middle murky there with the wins. Winnipeg wins. They're, a step closer to you. BC wins. But still, it is just their second win of the season. So that's an okay result for the Edmonton Elks. But Xander Horvath, now, there was a few guys who popped off. Caden Salter ran for $160 on 10 carries. Not bad. Xander Horvath, the former Los Angeles Charger, a man who scored touchdowns in both of his first 2 career games. He was on pace for a heck of a career. It didn't work out. He ran for 191 yards, 17 carries. For those of you doing the math at home, that's 11.2 yards per carry. Their quarterback, Caden Salter, averaged 16 yards per carry. Other running back, Amani Bailey, 4.3, which on a regular night would not be bad at all. It just so happened that Xander Horvath was popping off. Keon Hatcher going 1 for 1. How about that receiver getting to play a little quarterback? And yeah, they didn't do many passes. It was 8 completed passes. 1 was a wide receiver. But that didn't matter. They dominated on the ground. They really ran away with it in the fourth quarter, putting up 25 points. And the BC Lions with a big win as we bring in our co-host every Friday here on the Jason Gregor Show, Mr. Wanye Gretz.
Oh, thunderous applause. Thank you.
I thought everybody else would get in on that.
No, it's a sad state of affairs. I have a couple questions.
Let's do it.
Where's Dad?
Vacation. I don't know if he wants me to dox him. So vacation.
Okay. And so we're watching Sherlock Mysteries on CBC.
Yeah, Declan has controlled the remote today. Yesterday we were watching Forensic Files, which was pretty cool. It's tougher to watch without volume. You don't know what's happening.
I was on CBC because the Commonwealth Games were on. But I'll switch it over.
Now it's Murdoch Mysteries.
That was what that was.
Another show not as good without volume.
I didn't realize Murdoch Mysteries was old, like a period show back in the day. It's always funny to me when the athletic commentators have to announce another show on the network during the game.
Yeah.
Because they sound like aliens that have never seen any TV shows ever before. And they're describing the plot like they're very incredulous. Like, this week on CBC Gem, 2 detectives drive around in a talking pie. And they've never seen a show, and it's like, and now back to the 100-meter dash.
I would watch that show, I think.
It's not bad. It's just off the top.
Did you ever see the clip of like the Dana Carvey show? Dana Harvey, I think it was. Harvey, yeah. Carvey.
From SNL?
Yeah, and it's like they're giving kind of like the premise for his show. But that's after, I'll tell you from the beginning. It's a home improvement clip. And it's like Jonathan Taylor Thomas's character is sick. He's like, I don't want to die. And Tim Allen's like, we're going to do whatever it takes to protect you. Don't worry about it. And then they're like, home improvement, an emotional episode following the Dana Carvey Dr. Pepper convenience show or something like that. Like, it's just a totally ridiculous lead up into it. I wish I had the whole thing for you, but it was a really powerful moment for home improvement, and they just totally killed it afterwards with this weird name for Dana Carvey's special.
See, you young kids out there don't remember 90s TV shows. They entertained you and they taught you a valuable lesson. Every episode, they found time to teach you some wisdom.
It was the super serious episode of Home Improvement, followed by the Diet Mug Root Beer Dana Carvey show.
They named the show Diet Mug Root Beer?
And I think they changed it every episode for Dana Carvey because it was just like promoted by PepsiCo or whatever.
Wow. Strange a show with that much creative vision failed.
Yeah. I love 90s TV, man. Friday night, TGIF, like Step by Step and Boy Meets World. What else was there?
Full House.
That was
Family Matters.
Oh, Family Matters, yeah.
Step by Step.
There had to be more.
Well, there was
Sabrina
4 or 5. Some came and went.
Yeah.
Boy Meets World?
Boy Meets World was there for a long time. Great show at its core. As it went on and they became adults, a little more serious. I didn't quite like it, but at its core, that was a great show.
Friday nights used to mean something, Connor.
It did. Deck was talking about it yesterday when we were talking about how, Amazon's coming on here and now we're streaming. I think it was Deck. And like there used to be like appointment television. It doesn't really exist anymore.
Well, sports, you could argue, is the last appointment television.
Yeah.
Right?
Maybe like Survivor, Big Brother, but you can always stream it right after.
But like hockey, live sports, football, basketball, everyone's watching right when it's on. No one's recording and watching later.
You are a business guy.
Indeed.
And a sports fan.
Sometimes.
What did you think about the Amazon decision, Sportsnet, with Wednesday night hockey? Like, it seems like we might get to a point where this is really good and smooth, but I think the transition phase, on top of being a financial burden for a lot of people, is just going to probably lose you some viewers because there's a generation that's not going to figure out Amazon.
No doubt. It's weird how monetizing sports is sort of changing, right? Like, what does it cost to watch all the NFL games for a team this year? $700 in the NFL?
I mean, if you're watching, was it Netflix, Amazon, Peacock, all the other ones, for us, I get DAZN, and that's still pretty expensive because I'll split it so I can have 2 people watch it. I'll split it with my dad. Still pretty expensive.
They want fewer but higher paying customers. That's the goal, right? With streaming, right? The amount of revenue per viewer goes way up. Have you seen how 2 courtside tickets to the Boston Celtics are $50,000? And they're equivalent to a whole 300 level section of revenue every game.
Why? Just because somebody will buy it for a status symbol or something?
Flex, and who the heck knows. But like, it's interesting to note that you want, for those 2 people, you could have a whole section empty.
Yeah.
That's terrible for vibes.
Oh, absolutely.
And so I think Amazon, it'll probably be growing and growing. And it'll cost more and more to watch hockey games. That's the way, brother.
I mean, And I think that like there's an upside where, hey, maybe you combine a couple friends, you live in the area, you hang out every night and watch hockey. That's cool. That could be fun. Way to cut the cost just a little bit, but I just want to get your thoughts on that as a business mind.
Well, I'm of the mind on the internet, you flood the streets with as much free content as you can, right?
Oh, people are going to find it.
And, Adam Silver talking about how the NBA is a clip-driven league, a highlight-driven league now. So people are complaining about the cost to follow an NBA team, and he's like, just watch the highlights. I think you should be streaming all your games for free, personally, and try to get the audience as big as you can. But some of these like regional TV deals they have in the States with like the local market, they're all going down in revenue, and some of them are shutting down. So the teams are having to like broadcast games themselves because they don't have regional TV deals now.
Well, yeah, and we're seeing that in hockey too, right? Like I'm wondering if there's going to be a point where let's just use the Anaheim Ducks, like all these networks fail, nobody wants to pick them up, streaming exclusively on Amazon. Could that happen one day?
Or on mightyducks.com or whatever the website is.
Whatever it's going to be. Just stream it online and make an app, translate it to your TV. It works out okay.
Do you think you should have radio broadcast teams and TV broadcast teams for each sport?
Someone went away from that.
Columbus. There's others too, I was reading.
I kind of do like it because there's just different perspectives. Like what if I'm calling a game on TV, I know that the viewer can see it. I don't have to be as in depth. You're on radio, especially like let's look at baseball. That would probably be the biggest one where you're describing everything, trying to fill time. You can't really rely on popping up graphics. So I do think there should be two separate, play-by-plays. Now, cost-wise, I mean, in a world where we just continually to slash the budget, maybe that becomes a problem. But like, we need a producer and play-by-play and the analyst, and that's it, right? Like, essentially, for a radio broadcast, you would have an in-studio producer as well. You'll still have that. So, I don't know. To me, it just kind of seems lazy, and I think someone, whether it's going to be the TV crew simulcasting onto the radio, right?
Yeah.
They're going to miss things. Like the broadcast to me drops off very quickly.
Have you ever watched Riverhawks broadcast on YouTube?
Crystal clear. I love it.
Al Coates?
Yeah.
It's great.
Well, I like when they go back and show him in the booth.
Yeah. It's great. And like that's them broadcasting their own. They don't have a radio deal. They're doing it themselves, right?
That is true. But they're also, and I say this with all due respect, not the NFL, not the NHL, right?
But if you can put a commensurate amount of resources into it, everybody that currently works for your pick of broadcast teams could theoretically work for the Oilers, for example.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You
There's nothing stopping them from hiring all the existing staff and just moving it over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You could do that as well. Wanye, we'll take a quick break here. When we come back, we're going to talk some NFL. Arif Hassan's going to join us. Still to come on the show, Eddie Steele, Elks. We'll get into that. Big game tomorrow. Also, we've got Mark Spector and Low Tide. We'll do 5 questions, the roundtable, and more. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 air conditioning install company for lovers, because it's been a while since you kissed her tender lips or felt his warm embrace, because it's too hot for love. But you can rekindle that fire with AC from Legacy, with no payments and no interest for 1 year. Your legacy of love will grow stronger, because with AC from Legacy, it's never too hot for love.
Hurry in for hot summer savings at Wolf GMC Buick. Take advantage of 0% purchase financing for up to 72 months on select new 2026 GMC Sierra 1500 pickups. 0% purchase financing for 36 months on select new 2026 Sierra 2500 Denali and Denali Ultimate models. Plus, huge cash savings on GMC Sierra heavy-duty trucks. And ask about the $1,000 truck trade-in bonus and low-rate lease offers. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
It's cone season at McDonald's, which means vanilla cones are $1 each plus tax in the McDonald's app all summer long. Soft, creamy, and crunchy. for just $1 each plus tax exclusively in the McDonald's app. App download and registration required at participating McDonald's in Canada.
For all your welding supplies, think AWS Welding. Located in Nisku, their readily stocked storefront carries a wide variety of welding glasses, cylinder rentals, plus welding rod, wire, and consumables. Same-day delivery is always available. And if they don't have it, AWS Welding will find it for you fast. Visit their online store today at awswelding.ca or give them a call or text at 780-979-0470. AWS Welding. They make it happen.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. HireGood provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact because our team is built on second chances and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Gregor for a first-time discount. HireGood. Stable jobs create stable lives.
Does your bank do local? We do. When you bank with Vision Credit Union, you're banking with a rural Albertan cooperative that cares about the community where you live. There's no question. We actively support our rural communities at the local level through charitable donations, volunteerism, local team and event sponsorships, and by returning millions in profit shares to our members every year. Does your bank do that? We do local. Bank with Vision Credit Union. VisionCU.ca.
Hey, Gary, is that your dad?
No, this is Evan, the new sales rep I hired.
Oh.
First impressions matter, but when hair loss takes over, it can feel like you're not being seen for the maverick you truly are. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we know that hair loss is more than just a cosmetic issue. It's personal. Let's discuss all the cutting-edge options available so you can make a great impression every time.
Book a free consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Emerald Equipment. Emerald Equipment is Edmonton's newest dealer for Yanmar compact equipment. Machines built tough for the jobs that don't quit. Get your new Yanmar compact track loaders with ASP Positive Track at Emerald Equipment.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Lotto Max tonight, $15 million. Grab your ticket, PlayAlberta.ca. You can also check out the sports section, get the Gregor Show daily specials, boosted, of course. Remember to use your game sense. Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz, Declan Kruger, and Mackenzie McLennan with you here in the Sports 1440 studios. We are giving away tickets to the game tomorrow. Elks and Riders down at Commonwealth. The question is, zeros on the clock. You're down by 5. You can throw to any receiver in Elks or Eskimos history. Who are you throwing the football to? And I want to ask our next guest, because covers the Vikings, has done so for a long time. You got Moss. You got Carter. You got Justin Jefferson. Some good options. Who would he pick? We'll go inside the room, brought to you by Action Electrical. They're the most diversified electrical contractor in Alberta with 4 divisions in project, service, take, and solar for commercial or residential. Contact them today at actionelectrical.net. Arif Hassan joins us right at wide left football. Arif, good afternoon. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing really good. Thank you. Nice to see all these shots from NFL training camps popping up on social media. So let me ask you the question. Now, let's say you're Dante Culpepper. You can throw to one of those 3 receivers or another one. But those 3 pop to mind, Moss, Carter, and Justin Jefferson. With the game on the line, who are you throwing the football to?
Yeah, God, it depends on how far away I am from the end zone. If I'm 20 yards or fewer, it's Chris Carter. If I'm more than 20, it's Randy Moss. And, man, all respect to Justin Jefferson, but that's a tough crew to beat.
Yeah, 100%. I'm with you. We've been saying from the 10-yard line. So you're going Chris Carter then?
Yeah, I am. And, I love Randy. I think he's the best receiver of all time. Obviously I think there's a good argument for Jerry Rice, but I think, if you need one catch, I know who I'm going to.
So let's take a look at the Minnesota Vikings this era. And obviously we know how good this team can be. The offensive weapons are fantastic, but we got to look under center with J.J. McCarthy and Kyler Murray. Carson Wentz still in the staff? I didn't even know that. But when you look at that battle for QB1, who has the advantage right now?
It very much seems like it's Kyler Murray, but I think that it's not as clear as one might think, because I think JJ has been playing a little bit better. Now, there hasn't been a ton of passes from either side, and I think people are overstating the degree to which McCarthy has been playing a little bit better, because a lot of people are only looking at the throws and not the process. But the fact is, we've had a couple of more missteps from Kyler. Things like, like a miscommunication to Justin Jefferson, an incompletion over the middle, just a couple more negative plays. But we're not seeing some of the negatives from McCarthy because he's holding on to the ball too long and people aren't paying attention to that fact. But there's a reason that Kyler Murray is getting way more snaps when they're rotating through QB1, QB2. He's getting more snaps with the first team, and I think that's a good sign that Kyler Murray is well ahead in the competition, despite a sample of 10 throws telling us that McCarthy is performing slightly better.
We're in this spot where every time a quarterback is released, or a highly touted quarterback, at least, the spot to go seems to be the Minnesota Vikings, and probably the coaching staff has a lot to do with it. I guess the Shanahan system plays a role, but what is it about Kevin O'Connell, and how can he just kind of rehab these quarterbacks?
I think what he does is he kind of figures out what these quarterbacks really can do well, and he has a bias towards explosive plays, so he's getting quarterbacks that are pretty good at generating those. I don't know if you could do a lot with like Bo Nix. I think Bo Nix is thriving in like Sean Payton's system, but I think that when you find quarterbacks that kind of fit what Kevin O'Connell does, he maximizes everything that they can do, and he figures out kind of what they can take on. With Kirk Cousins, he knew that the offense could be complicated and have a lot of optionality, and have all of these different routes and concepts in there. But with McCarthy, he pared down the offense partly through the season, and we saw kind of those benefits. With Carson Wentz, we saw some elements of the offense increasing complexity and some elements decreasing complexity. So he knows what the quarterbacks need and what they can thrive in, and then he kind of works with what they do well to maximize it and hiding those weaknesses. So I think that maybe that's the best way to put it.
Arif Hassan joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley sitting in. Now, when you look at the Vikings running back room, Aaron Jones, a few other pieces there, Jordan Mason, what is the overall confidence in that group this year? And Aaron Jones, I think obviously the key would be staying healthy.
Yeah, of course. I think that the Vikings are pretty confident in them, and we know that Jordan Mason has lost a little bit of weight, and that was intentional. It's a good thing. It looks like that was something that the Vikings had planned on him to do. He's lost it healthily, and it seems like they're hoping to get a little bit more explosiveness out of him, which, if you're going to identify an area of the game where he was weakest, it would be that. I think they're pretty confident in that running back group. I am not quite as confident as the Vikings are, and that's fine. They're a good, not great running back group, but I have concerns, like you mentioned, about Aaron Jones's health. And I think that outside of those two, it's somewhat of a fragile core because of Aaron Jones. I don't know that they can rely on Damon Claiborne and Xavier Scott to really get things going.
Just looking at Justin Jefferson, and this is a question that came in regarding fantasy purposes, so bear with me. But last season, not a Justin Jefferson type season. I mean, he had a better year in 2023 when he missed 7 games, the 2 touchdowns, 1,000 yards. Still a good year, don't get me wrong. But do you expect a bounce back season for Jefferson?
I do, and I think that there were, essentially, the 2 reasons you can point to as to why a receiver would have a down year. One, the quarterback play was obviously subpar, but I think Justin Jefferson also was playing individually, once you remove that, at maybe the lowest level of his career, and I just don't expect that to continue. I think that his ability to bounce back, generally speaking, when we've seen him have bad games or a bad stretch of games, is remarkable. It's extraordinary. That's why he kept on producing these 1,200, 1,400, 1,500-yard seasons. So I think we're going to see a bounce back from Justin Jefferson, but it is something worth watching, and he has to develop new chemistry with Kyler Murray, who just runs different types of offenses throughout his career than the ones we're used to seeing Kevin O'Connell running. So I'm curious, but I just have so much faith in Jefferson.
Yeah, hard not to with what he's been able to do. Arif Hassan joining us here from Wide Left Football. Looking on the defensive side of things, I don't know if there was a more polarizing first-round pick, none coming to mind at this moment, than Caleb Banks from the Vikings. What was your thoughts when they made that pick, and what have you seen from him since?
Yeah, I think that the idea was that, if he didn't have this injury concern, that was like an appropriate pick for that slot. I was able to kind of run a lot of data on historical rankings and stuff like that. And it seems like that was the primary reason. And the Vikings are very confident that, this is not going to be a recurring issue, the feet. So within that, construct, sure, we got to see Caleb Banks, rotate in with the ones. It sounds like he's not, going to be full bore immediately, but we do know that he's practicing in a full sense. We'll see once the pads come on, but it does look like he belongs. It does look like he's picking up on a lot of the defense. It's a very complicated defense, even for defensive tackles, because they're expected to learn all 7 positions in the front 7. Every player in the front 7 has to learn what every other player does. It's really difficult and complicated. And it sounds like he's picking up on it really quickly. And so I think we can expect to see him maybe a little bit sooner than we typically do for a lot of, tackles that we think might take some time to get on the field.
It is interesting looking at the draft strategy. Obviously, the defense was where they wanted to attack, taking 4 players in the first 3 rounds. What have you seen from the rest of the rookies so far?
Yeah, so we haven't seen a ton of Dominique Orange, Big Citrus. We'll probably see him rotate in a little bit more, but because Levi Drake Rodriguez is doing a lot of the first team nose tackle stuff, and we're just getting a ton of first team looks, there's just not that much out there of him. When the pads come on again, we'll probably see kind of a more precise understanding of how he's, doing compared to the offensive lines that he's up against. As for Jake Golday, I think that we're kind of seeing him moved around a lot. I don't know that I would call him kind of a long-term replacement for Andrew Van Ginkel or anything like that. I don't think he's a true edge rusher like Van Ginkel is, but I think the type of versatility that Van Ginkel represents is the kind of thing that they want to see from Golday, who very obviously stands out as a physical specimen on the field when you see him. He also has been spending a ton of time learning the defense. He's been able to tell the veterans stuff about the way that, things are supposed to operate, which I think is really cool. But especially because he has that same job of learning all 7 roles, he's really quickly picking up on it. So we'll probably see him on the field sooner than I had anticipated. He might be able to take Eric Wilson's job. I don't know. But if not, Brian Flores is known for a lot of these sub packages. So we could see him on the edge. We could see him in the middle. We could see him do some overhang stuff. We could see him rush up the middle. There's probably all kinds of stuff they have planned for him. We're already beginning to kind of see him move around.
We're looking around the NFL with Arif Hassan. Give him a follow next at Arif Hassan NFL or at Wide Left Football. And I know you're Vikings focused, but you do a lot of coverage around the NFL. Arif, any teams you think could be poised to surprise people this year?
Oh gosh, that's a really interesting question. I think that, first of all, the NFC South, you could always just pick a team there and you might be right because it's always changing. If the Buccaneers can figure out what's going on with Baker Mayfield, or if Baker Mayfield can figure out what he wants from the Buccaneers, not saying, who's at fault or not, I think that there's some opportunity there. It's probably the last gasp for a lot of that. The offensive line has kind of diminished a little bit over time. The defensive line has diminished a little bit over time. Mike Evans is, who he is, and he's gone. But I think that I think that they've got a lot of talent there, especially on the defensive side of the ball, for them to be able to kind of take control of the NFC South. The real question is how good Tyler Shuck is for the Saints. So there's a lot there that I think that they can do. I just, if they can get all of their ducks in a row, I think that's going to be kind of a fun team to pay attention to.
Who do you think will sign their contract extension first, Bijan Robinson or Jahmyr Gibbs?
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, I think probably Bijan. I know that there's been a little bit of steam about what that number is going to look like. And I know that the agents are playing chicken with each other to see who can set the market and then who gets to beat it, right? But I just think that there's a lot more urgency in Atlanta. Not to say that Detroit doesn't love Jahmyr Gibbs or that they don't love to commit to a running game. But I think there's just a lot of urgency in Atlanta to lock down some of these guys just because it's a little bit more uncertain what they're going to do with stuff like quarterback, and not having some of these other pieces locked down is a little bit more distressing.
Yeah, I whoever gets paid will be the highest paid running back for a day max, and then the other guy is going to get that deal and surpass him for sure. Before we let you go here, I'll ask you one more league wide question. Give me your top 3, let's just say no particular order, MVP candidates for this upcoming season.
Okay, I think we're probably going to see a return of Patrick Mahomes. He's been having a down 2 years, and I think that even though Travis Kelce is not, the player that he used to be. I think that we're seeing a little bit more built around Mahomes, and I think that they want to return to an explosive offense. They've talked about that this offseason. So I'm going to put him in that conversation. I'm going to say Drake May takes another step forward. He was already in the MVP conversation last year, so we'll put him up there. And then, man, I'm gonna ignore Matthew Stafford, maybe much to my peril, and pick. I'll go with Lamar over Josh Allen. I'll go with Lamar, just because I think that there's a lot of opportunity in that division right now, a ton, and I also think that I don't know. He's been a little bit more consistent, and people kind of trust him a little bit more than Josh Allen, which was not true 2 years ago. But like times change pretty quickly.
Oh, it's gonna be here in no time. Arif, thanks so much for joining us today. Really appreciate it, and we'll have to get you on again during the season.
Thanks for having me.
There you go. Arif Hassan joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley sitting in. Wanye Gretz, Declan Kruger, and Mackenzie McLennan here as well. Wanye, do you have an NFL team? Anyone you want to get some loyalty with?
Not really. No.
Would you ever?
Well, I'm following storylines.
Okay.
So I'm excited about Shedeur.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Because I like the merch sales. I like that he's not really a player of consequence, but he led the NFL in merch sales last year.
But he might be.
Well, we never know.
We had Andy McNamara coming on, big Browns guy, and he was like, I got to see him play. I know Deshaun Watson's not the guy. I need to see if Shedeur is the guy. And there's only one way to find out. He's got to play.
Is he QB1 to start the year?
I think he's got to be. You're got to be done with Deshaun Watson once this year wraps up. I guess the question is, do you believe you can win? If you believe you can win and Deshaun's better, start him. But long-term decision-making, you got to find out what Shedeur is. And if he's in there sucking, he's not the guy, and it results in a higher draft pick, that's good too. So
how do you think he played last year?
Not very good. I mean, it wasn't great, but that team had some questions, I think. It's a better team. Like you look at that team, we were talking about it on the Frenzy, and they draft a couple good running backs last year. This year, a couple good receivers. They got Harold Fannin. Can you improve the offensive line? You trade away one of the best defensive players of all time in Myles Garrett, but you bring in Jared Verse. It's interesting to see how it's going to play out. I'm not sure quite yet. I think it could be pretty bad. But if it's bad, but you're seeing things you like in Shedeur's game, then, hey, maybe you're willing to give it another go.
Well, Brown fans know how to watch bad football.
They've unfortunately become quite accustomed to it.
They have a PhD.
Yeah. They're like Oilers fans in the decade of darkness. We got pretty good at seeing bad hockey.
We were doing a real life podcast, and we were looking back at like the 2012, 2013, 2014, up into the Connor draft Oilers. Wow. There was some
names,
some tough years, The 1 year, I think it was the year before Connor's draft year, they were out by Halloween. They were like 3-11 on Halloween. We were having a big Oilers Nation party at the Pint, and we were like, oh, we'll just start talking about the draft. Well, it hasn't even snowed yet.
Yeah.
But we found a way.
That was always the discussion. Like, when do we start looking at prospects? When do we start booking guests to discuss prospects? We had a good pulse on junior hockey back then. We knew things. Ed and Father Harry says, can you put this on record? Yes, I can. DJ Moore will be one of the worst signings this season.
Really?
Deck, how you feeling about that?
I mean, I guess we got to wait and see. I don't have too much inherent confidence in who DJ Moore is as a player. I think Josh Allen also has an ability to elevate some of the receivers he's with. So that's the only reason I'd be hesitant to call him one of the worst signings. But like, if you expect him to come in and just because it's Josh Allen and be Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase, that's not going to happen. So, but it's kind of like we talked about this with Joey Bosa, and Von Miller as well. Like, a lot of times I keep my expectations low and let myself be surprised. Now that he's in a different situation than those two at their points in their careers. But I'll see how it plays out.
I can't tell if this is tongue in cheek. Browns with 2 Pro Bowl quarterbacks on the roster, probably the best room in the ASC, if not the league. No.
Signed Deshaun Watson's agent.
2 Pro Bowl quarterbacks. Shedeur Sanders, if you look through his Wikipedia page quickly, holy cow, his college retired his number. He's got to be good. Pro Bowl, he's got to be good. Ugh, not quite that.
The Pro Bowl.
The Pro Bowl in the NFL is a joke.
Yeah, getting the Pro Bowl invite isn't what it was 20 years ago.
No. And I believe to have it like go on the resume, the Wikipedia page, you have to be voted in or play in the game. So those guys like those who are like the fifth replacement and declined to go, they don't get the classification as Pro Bowler. Shador went and played. Shows heart to go play in that game.
Shows heart. It's like when you get the star on the Walk of Fame
that you pay for.
You paid for it and you applied for it, and then you stand there in front of like a grocery store and talk about what a humbling experience it's been for you, who did all the work.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That is one of the funniest things in the world. When I first found out, I was very disappointed. Changed how I looked at it.
Pro Bowl is the same thing.
Yeah.
How can you make all-star games relevant when athletes make the kind of money they make? Like, how can you make them care?
I don't think you can. You're taking away too much of it. The culture was there, but for the Pro Bowl back in the day, go out to Hawaii, play there, like it was a party, and then you're playing tackle football. And now it's just like, I think people are coming around to it. Why would we do this? What's the benefit for me, Deshaun Watson?
Pro Bowls have always been non-contact, right?
No.
They would hit?
Absolutely.
Really?
It used to matter. It used to mean something.
Really?
I'm going to show you Sean Taylor hitting a punter in the break here.
In the Pro Bowl?
Brian Moorman.
What year?
I don't even know. 2005? Yeah. I'll show you the video.
All right now.
We'll watch it. We'll take a break, though. When we come back, we'll get to Cam Tate's 2-minute warning read by me. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and Twitch, brought to you by playalberta.ca.
Yeah, it's me again. And if you're sidelined with a sports injury, you already know nothing's more frustrating than being told to just rest. At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we get athletes moving sooner with our zero gravity treadmills. You can run, train, and rebuild strength with up to 80% less body weight, so your injury heals while your confidence comes roaring back. When your sports injury's yelling, whisper back, leadingedgephysio.com, because life shouldn't hurt.
Say hello to Alberta's home for reeling and dealing. With Play Alberta, you can spin into the excitement of popular slots like Cash Eruption and Desert Fantasy. Experience Alberta exclusive games and get in on the action of live dealer tables with all new elevated stakes. However you prefer to play, the fun is ready when you are. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
It's Dollar Drink Summer at McDonald's. Sip on a refreshing small fountain drink or a small iced coffee for just $1 each plus tax, all summer long. Only at McDonald's. Excludes flavored and cloud iced coffees. At participating Canadian restaurants. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
Don't let rookies scratch your custom wheels. Evolve Wheels and Tires uses premium touchless equipment designed to protect your wheel and tire investment. Trust the enthusiasts at Evolve Wheels and Tires, Edmonton's premium wheel specialists. Evolve your ride. Evolve your experience.
Come on down to the Brick for your chance to win over $1 million in prizes. They're giving away mattresses, appliances, big screen TVs, and more. No purchase necessary. 1 in 10 will be a winner. Plus, the Price is Right live event kicks off with incredible 5-day deals, like save $70 on a 32-inch 1080p QLED TV. Below cost at just $129. Thursday through Monday only. Some conditions apply. See in store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade: safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, Jersey barriers, and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned. Over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
Feeling overwhelmed by debt? Concerned about what the next few weeks or months will bring for your finances? My name is Parveen Middleton. I'm a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. You don't have to navigate this alone. Together, we can review your options and build a personalized plan to reduce your payments and get you out of debt, so you can breathe again. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to book your free consultation and discover your debt-free future.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Looking for a tasty lunch? Papa John's has you covered. Get a small 2-topping pizza for only $9.99 with code S999 at papajohns.ca. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Tonight's Lotto Max, an estimated 15 schmil. That'd be all right. Tomorrow, the Lotto 649 Gold Ball jackpot, 40 mil. What was it like when you made your first 40?
If I had $40 million, I would hire Victor Wembanyama for exactly one half of an NBA season.
You'd hire him?
Yes. Just to hang.
Oh, like you would miss the season.
Yeah.
He's going to be making
$40 million?
He's going to be making $1 million a game soon.
Isn't Ant Edwards making $1 million a game too? Anthony Edwards? Timberwolves?
I bet Kawhi Leonard will be.
No one in the NBA currently is at
His
the
next
Milla.
contract.
They've done the work on it. And they think Cooper Flagg's rookie extension will be $82 million a year minimum.
So who's the highest paid player right now, Deck?
Well, in terms of AAV, it's Devin Booker, I believe. It's $72.5 million.
So if Devin Booker just played 72 games, he's doing it, right?
Yeah, but you're also like technically not supposed to. Like, but that's like you could say anything. Like if I only work one day a year, I get paid X, you know what I mean?
But
like
he could do it.
But that's not the same as being $1 million player.
Kawhi Leonard will probably do that because he'll be suspended and then he'll just play in his 75% of his games.
But you're still not $1 million. You're $1 million game player though.
I would not pay Devin Booker with my lottery winnings. I don't want it. It's not good value.
Pretty good.
He's a good player.
No, I want Wemby.
Last year he played 64 games, so way more than $1 million a game. The year before that, 75.
What's the status of the Kawhi Leonard trade to the Raptors? Still frozen in perpetuity, like Han Solo when he was frozen?
I believe the report was this could linger into 2027. Yeah.
If you're the Raptors, like, are these the vibes that we really want to be bringing to our glorious franchise?
Most people say yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Because they're remembering that one shot?
Well, it was a good run. What if he never left? One of those what ifs in sports we always talk about. They lose the next year to Golden State.
Sorry, really quickly. I think I had my numbers wrong. It does look like Ant is projecting to be the first million per game player. It looks like Cooper Flagg is projected to be the first 100 million per season player.
As Kanye said, welcome to the good life, eh? Could you imagine? Okay, we got to get to Cam Tate's 2-minute warning in a second here. I do have to actually bring it up to read the words because on Fridays, that's what we do here on the Jason Gregor Show. Usually it's Jason. Today it will be me. And thankfully, I don't think Tater went too hard on me with the vocab. He probably knows that I won't take those good shots like Gregor does, and I might just ignore it and go a totally different route. But we are going to get to the 2-minute warning brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change, no OT charges, furnace repair, and maintenance. Do it now, legacyheating.ca. Declan, do we have any music here? All right. Good vibes as soon as my computer opens this one up. Okay, scrolling down here. There are some moments right here on the big Sports 1440 that need to be retold. Like yesterday afternoon, Connor Halley, you know him, Benny's dad, executive vice president, senior advisor, chairman of outreach, assistant thing or other for the San Diego Chargers fan club, had a big ask. He had to warn Connor's guy on the ones and twos over there. Declan, big ask. Say that in church 18 times fast and see what happens to you. Big ask, big ask. Big. Okay, Declan's on the floor now because Chris Morris, CEO and president, was the big guest of the day. Not the big ask. We covered this. The guest of the day. Connor got on the mic and asked listeners to text him with questions for Chris. Chris is on the big program yesterday, 20 after 2. Big rematch with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Big game. And look, everybody in town knows the history. Riders and Elks. It's been chippy. Last time these two met, it came down to the final whistle, and half this call-in show still hasn't forgiven the officials for it. Before that, the Elks stole one on a last-second field goal that Saskatchewan fans are still texting about. It's not a rivalry anymore. It's a grudge as a schedule. So, when you've got the kind of history walking into Saturday's rematch that requires a big ask, Declan, he stood up. We're not doing this again. And naturally, the second phones lit up, it turned into the upper bowl debate. Again, somebody always brings up the upper bowl. I've got one question for Chris. He's turned around the franchise. Elks are 5-1. Well, better than that. Best team in the CFL, and the fans looking for north of 30,000 on Saturday. So as a lifelong Elks fan, attended my first game well before puberty. These are Cam Tate's words, mind you. Grew up with this team. I'm just so happy with the direction he's taken us. And that means I've got a big ask for Chris. Big ask. Can I give you a hug? That's my big ask. 2-minute warning. Sports 1440, Cam Tate. I mean, there's probably a lot of people in our fair city that would love to shake the hand of Chris Morris at the very least for what he's come in. And like, he had a plan and he executed. He talked about keeping players, the team together, having, players that want to be in Edmonton, be here year round or as much as possible as year round. Did you hear the Ryan O'Hashi story?
No.
About his father was unable to make it to the games anymore. Just transportation was a concern. And they arranged, they had this system brought up that fans can be dropped off and take a little shuttle in if they have issues with being able to move around, mobility. For his birthday, they brought him into one of the suites, had a cake. Chris Morris went down and chatted with them. Those are the little stories that, you give you the goosebumps and make you want to support the team, right? Yep. It's like everyone who's a member of this fan base matters to this team again. And he had been a season ticket holder for a long time. But it's just a really good story. So, yeah, I commend these guys for what they've done. I've said it a bunch of times. And I've been in kind of a unique spot where I am on the media side, and you have to be honest with what's going on. But I've also hosted the watch parties for the last 4 or 5 years. And I got a chance to meet a lot of the staff and good people, hardworking people. They had to deal with a lot of guff for the decisions from prior regimes, bad football team, name change, all that sort of thing. And they stuck around. They've built a good product. They've been good off the field and now on the field. So I'm extremely happy for them all.
Couldn't be happier. And I hope they get 32,000 this weekend.
Hey, the weather's nice.
Wow, this is the concern. What do you think the weather's going to be? I've been checking the app.
I thought I saw a 50% chance of rain.
Yeah.
So
does half the city have PTSD from the Hurricane Malone concert?
Well, people went out for it still. People went out to the Riverhawks. People will still go out to this game, especially those Rider fans. So, hey, if they're going to go Elks fans, you got to go out there and represent.
That footage from the Elks game and the K-Days footage, the Post Malone concert, not the Elks game, Post Malone concert and K-Days is some of the craziest footage you will ever see of our fair city.
I mean, even the Riverhawks, I saw footage. I don't know if it was the coach or the players, but they had the water coming down the steps. My wife was driving home through that, despite me saying, pull over, let it pass. She's like, I think we got a clearing. She made it home, thankfully, just drenched. She was at the Riverhawks game. I couldn't do it. But for the football game, I'm going to be there. Maybe in the press box.
It's impressive that the Riverhawks outdrew last season, even though June and July have been as wet as they've been.
Yeah.
That's really impressive.
They've done something special there, right? They've appealed to the right people. Everybody wants to go down there. And once you get down there, we were talking about this. Like when the Elks lose, people are mad. When the Oilers are lose, people are mad. The Riverhawks can lose, but you still sat out in a beautiful environment, watched some ball, had a hot dog, a beer. You leave happy. Like that's unique in sport for them to have that. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if next year they break it again. We wanted to get a suite last year. It's sold out. Like in the off season, in the winter. So yeah, I think people love those Riverhawks.
Good stuff.
Good. Go support the area, right?
But go to the Elks game tomorrow, listeners. If you've got nothing going on and you're like, what am I going to do with myself? Now is the time to let the Elks into your heart.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
5:00. We got some more tickets to give away. The question of the day. Here's a scenario. Listen to me very closely. 10-yard line. Zeros on the clock. You're down by 5. Touchdown wins you the football game. You are the quarterback of your desire. You could be Ricky Ray, Jason Moss, Warren Moon, whomever. Which receiver in Eskimo or Elk history are you throwing the ball to? Let us know, 1-833-401-1440, and we will give you guys some tickets. It's that simple. Text it in, and we'll also share your answers on air because it's a fun discussion. And we've had a lot of the same names. That's okay because, you know, the best are the best for a reason, and a lot of us would probably think that would be the good throw. We'll take a break here. When we come back, we're going to get to a bunch more of your texts. We've got the round table. We've got Eddie Steele. See which of his old teammates he would have thrown the football to. 5 questions, spec, low tide, and more. It is the Jason Gregor Show. We're going to get to a Sports 1440 update with Declan Kruger, brought to you by Hire Good. We solve real problems for businesses while creating real impact. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. Go to hiregood.ca. Hire Good. Stable jobs create stable lives.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
One final from the majors earlier today. It was the Yankees over the Cubs 2-0. Next game set to go in about 10 minutes time here. The Pirates and the Reds, Skeens and Green on the mound in that one. And the Jays will be in action playing host to the Cards at 5:07. Dylan Cease on the bump. Late game tonight in the MLB, we'll see the Dodgers and the Red Sox at 8:10. Edmonton Riverhawks also in action out in Kelowna at 7:35. CFL Week 9 rolling on. Montreal and Ottawa at 5:30 tonight. The line for that one currently Montreal -6. Saskatchewan and Edmonton will play at Commonwealth at 5 o'clock tomorrow. Joseph Cooper drawing in on the offensive line for Cam Carter, and the line for that one currently Saskatchewan -2. Some other news from around the sporting world. Tony Romo has been placed on leave by CBS Sports following his DUI arrest. The Roughriders have placed running back A.J. Ouellette on the 6-game IR, and the San Jose Sharks have re-signed Colin Graff to a 3-year, $12.75 million extension. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray Radio Station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
At Papa John's, we know it's not just a pizza. It's a family gathering, a happy birthday, a special celebration, or just a sigh of relief at the end of a busy day. For a limited time, get large one-topping pizzas for only $14.99 each on original, thin, or New York-style crust. Use promo code L1499 at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app. Get yours today. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
What's 426 divided by 12? Okay, if I carry the one... yeah, we're out. Go Auto has a free credit calculator that does the math for you. See what you could qualify for, estimate your payments, and get a better idea of what's in your budget. Because shopping for a vehicle is exciting, but crunching numbers, yeah, not so much. Text CHECK to 780-777-7777. That's CHECK to 780 all sevens.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of CanTorque. CanTorque has always been a forward-thinking company, but now that we've turned 25, I can't help but take a minute to take a look back. Thank you to everyone that's been with us along the way.
Hey, hon, I'm getting expressions and images to frame my hockey card collection in the man cave.
Perfect. I'll come with you and bring our wedding photos.
For sports memorabilia and family treasures, think Expressions and Images, your local custom framer since 91. You name it, we frame it.
Albertans love to debate the best way to enjoy summer sports.
No. Playing on the field is the best, man.
No way. Watching from the sidelines, way more relaxing.
You're both crazy. Checking out the game from the Bro Zone is where it's at.
But there's one thing every sports fan agrees on.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky.
Wherever you catch the action, load up on Alberta's best beef jerky.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky, because you can't have summer fun with salad. Only available in Leduc.
Island Rides is one of Alberta's premier specialty charter companies. With our luxury motor coaches, we provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation services. Our seatbelt equipped, top-of-the-line motor coaches have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel needs across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, contact sales at 877-748-0991. Or visit silentrides.ca. Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
We were at a party with some friends. I was having fun. He wasn't. He gave me a look, grabbed my arm, squeezed, then yanked me towards
the front door. Was under his watch 24/7. He didn't install a doorbell camera for safety. He did it to control me, to track me, to keep me at home. Right where
he got inches from my face and started yelling, asking, "Why do you smile at other guys so much?" I rubbed the marks on my arm. I still felt his fingers digging
into my bank accounts. He changed my passwords, locked my cards, said I couldn't be trusted with my own money. It hurt.
More than you can imagine.
Got the kind of history.
Tech abuse is real abuse. If you or someone you know is using technology to harm or control, change is possible. Learn how to end the violence at alberta.ca/endgbv. A message from the government of Alberta.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. From weekend warriors to professional athletes, kids playing soccer to grandparents in the garden. Rotator cuff tears and tendonitis, post-surgical knees and hips. We fix your body. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Of course, tonight, the Lotto Max Wanye, $15 million. Tomorrow, the Lotto 649 Gold Ball Jackpot, an estimated $40 million. Go check it out. Also, over in the sports section, the Jason Gregor Show picks, the boosted odds. Go check them out. There's one involving the green and gold tomorrow. You might want to look at. Use your game sense.
Would you rather win the 15 million, Connor, or the 40 million?
In theory, the 40 million.
That's correct.
I'd be happy though with the 15 million.
But if you could pick,
yeah, if I could pick, let's go 40.
All right, now
the question of who you would throw the ball to is, I can tell everyone's age essentially of who they pick.
Yep.
But we got 3 in a row, and I'm calling you out, Scalding Gourd, because I know you can take it. You must be an older gentleman. I know you are. Tommy Scott. Kevin goes Brian Kelly. But Gary went Tom Scott, and we had another no-name, Tom Scott. So I'm a little oblivious to him because he retired in 84. Wasn't quite born yet. Canadian Hall of Famer, 5-time Grey Cup champion, all with the Elks from 78 to 82, an all-star. Also was drafted by the Detroit Lions, 304th overall, back when the NFL draft went at least 12 rounds. So that's a pretty good pick, apparently. Go-to receivers, Jason Tucker from Vance in LA. I like that one. That I get. I've said it before. First jersey I ever owned for the green and gold. That's a lie. The first jersey I ever owned had no name on it. It was just a green jersey. Another one for Tucker. I'd be Damon Allen throwing to Eddie Brown in my dream situation. Brandon the Fort.
Downtown Eddie Brown.
Sick nickname.
So good.
Everybody knows him.
Number 4.
Kicked it up to himself in the Grey Cup, right? In the snow. Unbelievable. John says Brian Kelly all day. So keep those rolling in. We got a lot to pick from here. Even if I didn't read yours, we're going to get to it. Terry Vaughn, Sandusky, Stamps, Sandusky. Mason says, shout out Connor and Declan. Love the show. Keep up the good work. Mason, we're going to try here as well. Miguel had texted in, does Baker Mayfield drama plus no Mike Evans increase, decrease, or affect his fantasy value? He's been my ride or die QB for years as a late steal. Yeah, Miguel, I won my league with him last year, actually. I would say maybe decrease. Emeka Egbuka's there. You got Chris Godwin. Actually, I don't think that Baker Mayfield to me is a guy who always plays best with a chip on his shoulder. So this is the chip on his shoulder. This is the motivation he needs. He's going to ball out. Like, he's trying to talk smack with guys in games. He's trying to take that late hit. It goes back to his college days. It might actually impress or make his fantasy value even better. All right. Shall we do it? The round table where Declan and Mackenzie take over here. You guys want to get this one going? It's been kind of hush-hush. You wouldn't tell us what the topic is, Deck.
Oh, well, it's not like it's a massive secret or anything or a big surprise, but I just I've always appreciated presenting the things as they same with 5 questions. I'm always like, hey, do you want them or do you want to go in blind? Just because I think it elicits kind of a more honest, natural response. But my thing, like I said, what we talked about a little bit in the opening segment, like the Elks 57,000 in the stands that in 19 or whatever it was it 50,000 in 1983 they were getting out, like 51,000 in 82, something along those lines in the early 80s.
Yes,
I think we'll see a return to form, no question. I think we can have 30,000 plus consistently, no doubt in my mind about that. But I just don't think we'll ever reach those numbers simply because life is so much different now. Like, there are infinite more options for entertainment. And I just think there's also a very real kind of human element that people don't people just want us to sit at home on their phones or sit at home and watch Disney Plus or just sit at home and play a video game. They don't want to have that sense of community, which I think made the CFL so special when I was younger. And I just think that's kind of a human trend, and maybe it'll correct itself way down the line. But as it stands, I don't think those attendance numbers will really be touched for the foreseeable future. Even if I see a return to form, which I very much do, but I just think it's more of a grander scale. It's not even related to the Elks. I just don't think those numbers of yesteryear exist or will exist because I don't think the world exists in the same way.
What do you think, Mac?
If I'm honest, because the reason a lot of people weren't going to Elks games was because they weren't winning. It wasn't a good product on the field.
Yeah, but I'm talking about a 40-year gap now.
No.
I'm not talking about the last 7 years. And
Let
even
me-
when they
let
were
me
winning.
finish.
All right.
Let me finish.
All right, Country Mac, go
Jeez.
get them now. Come on.
Because Edmonton is such a good city throughout the summertime, and we see it with we talk about it all the time. The Riverhawks, they bring out 5,000 to 10,000 basically on a nightly basis. So I think as long as they continue to win and put out a good product on the field, people are going to go more and more, and especially through those summer months because everybody's just itching to get out, and it is catered towards being affordable, being somewhere where you can take your families. So
Do you think they'll hit 57,000 as an average attendance?
Not 57, but 40 to 45. I think that's feasible and could be something that happens in the next couple of years, as long as everything keeps trending in the right direction.
I kind of go with the direction of Declan, just because that average would be so tough, and there is so much more to do now, and you got to factor in they might get 50,000 for a Riders game or a Stampeders Labor Day rematch game, but at the same time you are going to get that cold game. You're going to have those games in October where you get 20,000, which bring it down a little bit. I do think we're going to see a rise in attendance. I think season ticket sales will go up for sure. I'm hoping that Mackenzie is right here, and I'd love to see that average go sky high. But I think it'll be a hair below what we're going to see an increase there.
Now, Deck, back in 1983, the population of Edmonton was 560,000 people.
Yeah.
Now we're pushing 1.5. Does the fact that the city triples, so in real terms, it's way less of the city has to go now to fill that building than it did back then? That's 10% of the population had to go to a game in 83.
Well, it hasn't.
That's crazy. That is crazy, though.
It hasn't because we were putting up some numbers.
Okay, but what about how many people lived in Edmonton in like 2003 or 2005? Was it up to 1 million then?
Yeah.
In surrounding area, right? And those were some great years winning Grey Cups, and it was still like 39, 40,000, which I think is well within the like. This isn't meant to be a shot at the Elks. The Elks were the example because we talked about it in the opening segment, and they had some staggering numbers. It's more a take on just like the state of the world.
How can the Riverhawks do it then?
They're not getting 57,000 people out, like 5,700 maybe, and that's a good night. And they do a great job. Like, but my thing is like to get 57,000 people out to a game in 2026 when you have 57,000 more options than you did in 1983. I just think that's where the holdup is. And again, like this isn't Elk specific. That was just the example we had because of the numbers in the opening segment.
What about concerts, Deck? They do it.
Yeah, but concerts are, well, one I would say, yeah, but music is
one-off, right?
Pardon?
It's a one-off.
It's a little bit more of, like a one-time event. Like your favorite artist goes on tour. You don't get that week in, week out, year after year after year. Like it's a little bit more, as much as sports are an appointment event, I agree with that. Concerts are that like 10x'd, I would say, just because of the rarity, for lack of better words.
Mac, what you got today?
Okay. Hold on. Let me pull up. Sorry. I should have been more prepared.
Pull up, Mac.
Okay. With the MLB lockout, this is going to affect youth baseball registration because with less interest in the MLB, with the Jays not playing, that is going to decrease the exposure that kids are going to have to it and want to actually play the game.
Yeah, I don't know what youth baseball numbers look like, but like I think you're probably right. Like I'd have a tough time. I guess maybe like the one holdup would be like how many kids are just playing youth baseball because they like it and it's fun and they're not like even baseball fans necessarily. Like I don't know how many kids sign up for youth baseball like, hey, I can't wait to make the majors. Obviously, every kid wants to play there, but I think there's still some realistic expectation on the kids and on the parents. It'll probably have a trickle-down effect. Maybe I talked myself out of it, but...
Because I don't have the numbers in front of me, but there was a big jump in youth baseball registration this past year after the Jays went to the World Series. And it is a driving factor from the people in my circles that I talk to. They say that the Jays are a big factor. When they're good, they actually see like a big uptick. And when they're bad, not as many kids want to play.
It is funny because like I do think I agree, but it's also like, why should it affect it? Like just go play baseball. You're 8 years old. You know what I mean?
Well, to go like with the growth, I mean, how much of an impact did we see from Vince Carter and Steve Nash having success in the early 2000s in the association, and then probably another growth from the Raptors winning the championship, I think, in a few years. Like we're continually seeing numbers grow. When it's on TV, you're talking about it in school. You know, hey, I want to go play. Like I always saw a direct raise in registration and people wanting to play soccer when the World Cup rolled around. Like, oh, I think I want to play soccer. I want to play indoor soccer this year. So I guess by that theory, if the, having this exposure raises the attention, gets kids wanting to play, taking it away would lower it. I don't know how massive it'll be. And I'm hoping the lockout only lasts maybe a month if it happens. But I think there has to be some sort of correlation there. What do you think, Wanye?
Never.
You got a little guy.
Never put it past a league to write a season off with a strike, Connor. That's me talking from the year 2005. Never think. Don't put it past the MLB to write the whole thing off. I think what's going to happen is soccer is going to continue to get more popular in Canada because I think they just watched the World Cup. There's a huge surge in interest. Soccer remains like the only affordable minor sport, right? As the price of everything else goes through the roof.
Yeah.
Soccer remains the most affordable.
You can play, I mean, for indoor, there's rentals and things like that. But for outdoor, you just need the field and a referee has to get compensated. You need some shoes and some socks and you're pretty much set.
It's already the most popular youth sport in Canada.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I think Team Canada is going to be in big trouble in a generation for hockey because I think the price of goalies is just getting so sky high to raise a goalie that we're never going to have good goalies again. And we're going to be icing the rich kids of Canada against the best kids of Finland and the best kids of Sweden and the best kids of Germany. And you're going to lose.
I mean, we saw this, was it 10 years ago where the CHL was not allowing European goalies because they recognized there was a problem and we have to develop our guys. And geez, we saw it at this past Olympics. Like Canada went to the gold medal game, but how many times do we talk about like the 2 years leading up? Who is going to be the starting goalie? And it was a rotation there. And Binnington having terrible season with St. Louis gets the call, right?
Quebec used to put out a Patrick Waugh level goalie every 10 years. Carey Price.
Waugh, well, he's BC.
Oh, yeah.
But Waugh, Broder.
When's the last one?
Lalime.
Patrick Lalime?
Theodore.
17 games in a row winning as a rookie.
Marc-Andre Fleury. You're right.
When's the new hope? Where are they at?
That goalie probably can't afford to play hockey and is playing soccer.
Exactly.
We used to talk about that with Jeff Grishel back in the day. Like the best athlete might not be able to play sports.
If you're like coming from a socialist European country, and there's goods and bads about life in a country like that, but if you show any type of promise at sport, it's handled by the state.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be there. And here you have the dual problems of you need to be good and you need to be able to afford it. 10 grand a year for minor hockey for these kids? What?
Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, I wonder how many times and that's, hey, shout out Kids Sport and Sports Central, those types of things that help kids that couldn't play sports get into them and do that. But you're right, hockey, I don't have to tell any parent out there that's a hockey dad or hockey mom, like it's expensive. It's going to be a lot. Plus you're mixing in tournaments you're going to be doing, things like that. It's a expensive business. Curious to see if little Benny wants to play hockey.
What are you pushing for?
I don't care. I want him to play piano or something. I want him to do a martial art.
Yep, that's cool.
After that, we'll figure it out from there. See what he likes. Touch or flag football or touch football if he likes that. I don't think I want to get him out there playing tackle quite yet, but it is fun to watch those little kids run around with the big helmets. One of my favorite halftimes at Elks games. We'll take a break here when we come back. We're going to talk some more Elks with Eddie Steele. Of course, you know him from Elks Nation and here on Sports 1440. The guy's a winner. He wins on every level. We'll talk about the Elks and the Riders coming up next. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and Twitch. Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Come on down to the Brick for your chance to win over $1 million in prizes. They're giving away mattresses, appliances, big screen TVs, and more. No purchase necessary. 1 in 10 will be a winner. Plus, the Price is Right live event kicks off with incredible 5-day deals like save $70 on a 32-inch 1080p QLED TV below cost at just $129. Thursday through Monday only. Some conditions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
It's cone season at McDonald's, which means vanilla cones are $1 each plus tax in the McDonald's app all summer long. Soft, creamy, and crunchy. For just $1 each plus tax exclusively in the McDonald's app. App download and registration required at participating McDonald's in Canada.
School's almost out, and road trip season is just around the corner. But if your brakes sound like they're grinding harder than a hockey fourth liner, it might be time to visit Napa Auto Parts. Napa has all the quality parts, tools, and know-how to help keep your vehicle running smoothly and road ready. With over 85 locations in Alberta, visit your local Napa store today or shop online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
Photographers, start your cameras. Vision Credit Union's annual photo contest is back. We're asking you to show us the people, places, and moments that made you glad you chose this rural life. Maybe it's the view from your farm, a walk down Main Street, neighbors pitching in, a weekend at the rodeo, or a sunset down a back road. Share your photo to show why life in rural Alberta is a choice worth celebrating. Enter and vote at whatsyourshare.ca.
Your weekend hotspot is at On the Rocks.
Party with Edmonton's best bands every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
And we got them all.
From the Varkels to Tallboy, Radioactive, Curves, the Brute Squad, Morningwood, Roxilla, Punch Buggy, and more.
Plus, the guy who keeps the party going every weekend. DJ Kenny K on the ones and twos, live.
Get ready to have a good time this weekend.
Your bar, your party. You're On the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
Just Brab and 118th.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Ewell. Helping you finish your electrical project is their goal. From pot lights to electrical panels, the gear you need is at ewell.ca or in person at one of their Edmonton area locations. ewell.ca, your partner in power.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Four 23, welcome back. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440. Connor Halley, got Wanye Gretz, Declan Kruger, Mackenzie McLennan, an all-star room right now. Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. We're just missing like the MVP, but you know, we're a pretty good backup squad, I'd say.
Dad?
Yeah.
We're like the Jacksons without MJ.
Dibs Tito.
Oh, I'll be Randy. I'll pretend to play the bass.
I don't know the other ones.
Jermaine?
Oh, yeah.
No, Janet wasn't in the Jackson 5.
She's pretty talented, though. Did that incident at the Super Bowl just end her?
Is that one of the weirdest things when you look back in time? Like, surely that was planned.
Had to be. She's a star. She has hits.
It was weird then. It's weirder as time goes by.
He needs to get YouTube residuals, by the way, because that incident is why YouTube was created. Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah.
And then Google Image was created for the J-Lo dress at the Grammys, the green one. We really are a messy species.
The Super Bowl halftime, we ordered pizza and it arrived and everyone went upstairs. So I just watched the rest of it. And I still remember being like, did that happen? You couldn't go check Twitter, or you could there's nowhere to go confirm what you just saw. It was like, guess I'll talk to people on Monday. Who knows? It was.
But it's weird because then society's like, no more Janet Jackson.
Yeah.
Why?
But Justin Timberlake flourished.
Yeah. Why?
We gotta dig deep into that one day. Why did it happen? Texter JC says, CH, get little Benny to be a WWE superstar.
Sick.
Oh, yeah. Little Rey Mysterio. That'd be pretty cool. We'll talk to a real superstar. Our next guest, of course, you can hear him with Elks Nation twice a week. Also, twice a week on the Tom Gazzola Show. He's a champion at every level. He's also who we're going to go in the room for. Wait, no. CFL report brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home of the no payment, no interest for 1 year on your furnace or AC. Bundle them together and save more at legacyheating.ca. Eddie Steele joins us now. Eddie, good evening. How are you doing today?
Gentlemen, the infamous nip slip. Oh, or I should say nip rip.
Were you in the same situation? Like you saw that and kind of had to double take? Like, what did that actually happen?
Yeah, I wish I was more aware of it at the time, actually, in hindsight, looking back now. But I was probably too busy buried in the nachos.
That was the problem, yeah, right at halftime. Not Fred said, hey, guys, is Eddie doing this segment hiding around the corner at the gas station where he just heated up his midday snack without purchasing anything else?
Come on, that's not that much of a faux pas. Now, my pushback to that would be, do you ever go into the gas station if you're on a road trip and just run in to use the washroom? And do you feel obligated to get a water or buy a drink? Or sometimes you just use the washroom and walk out? What do you guys come out on that?
I would say for me, 95% of the time I buy something. But, Eddie, if there's a long line, I'll just sneak out. Wanye, what do you think?
Generally speaking, I'll just impulse buy something. Maybe some oven mitts or sort of like a windshield wiper scraper, something you need at the gas station. Beef jerky.
Well, you guys are better men than me.
We're not heating up food, though. We're not on business. It's totally different. Not Fred. I shouldn't have read that. Now, Eddie, here is my question for you, because this was our topic of the day. We are going to give away some Elks tickets to a couple lucky listeners. The question was, though, all you have to do is answer. You're a quarterback. You're on the 10-yard line. No time left on the clock. Down by 5. In all of Edmonton Elks and Eskimos history, which receiver are you throwing the football to?
Oh, what a great question. Probably an easy one because he was such a possession guy, and that would be Freddie Stamps. I would trust to throw that one to Fred Stamps because he was so cool with it. I would throw a corner route to him and get him deep in that end zone. I would say guys like a Darius Bowman, and there's so many names that come to mind, and amazing talent that I've played with, but Freddie Stamps was different. And I grew up watching him, and that's probably why it resonates with me a bit more because it was pretty awesome. He was like an Arlen Bruce type where, Connor, you and I are of the same era. We grew up watching these superstars, and then to finally get the chance to get in the league and brush shoulders with them, be in the same locker room kind of as I'm coming in and they're on their way out, it was pretty neat to see. So I would say cool Freddie Stamps.
I like that pick. That was very popular. I went corner route going to either Mookie Mitchell or Jason Tucker, probably thrown from Ricky Ray because it seemed like you couldn't cover that. The ball was always going to be in a spot where it wouldn't be caught. But yeah, we're getting some really good answers, and we'll give those tickets away later on. Now, let's talk about the game tomorrow down at Commonwealth. It's looking like it's going to be an outstanding crowd. Before we get into the X's and O's, I just want to ask you, is there a game when you were playing there? Because 2015, you guys were a hell of a team. People came out, and just a game that stood out with the crowd and how much of an advantage that can be for the home team.
Yeah, the probably low-hanging fruit game that stands out would be the 2015 West Final that we hosted at Commonwealth. We put a beat down on the Calgary Stampeders. It was in front of a huge crowd, and it was so awesome because getting that monkey off of our back the way Calgary had beat us the year before in 2014 in their house in the West Final, and they beat us pretty good. So it was quite a revenge game. We had in 2015 first place secured up. So in the way the season worked out actually was we had a bye week in week 2, and then we had a bye week the last week of the season. So we had first place secured. We had the bye week and the playoff bye. So we didn't have a football game for 3 weeks. So we came into that West Final so fresh. And we put the beat down on Calgary, and then we were all running into the stands and high-fiving the fans, and it was a big party afterwards. And that's probably the game that stands out the most. There's been some pretty epic games and battles at Commonwealth, but that one stands out the most just because of the West Final to get to the Grey Cup, and of course, it was a beating of Calgary, so that's always juicy.
Yeah, that's a very good answer. So let's look at the team here going into this one for the Elks. I mean, a pretty good performance we saw last Thursday in Saskatchewan, but some big changes. Carter O'Donnell drawing back into the lineup. And the one that kind of surprised Declan Kruger, who you're very familiar with, was Cooper coming in with Carter going out. What are your thoughts on the offensive line going into this game?
Yeah, that one was very interesting to me, too. I'm at the point, though, I don't know much about the player as he's just coming up elevated off the practice roster. I thought that Carter was doing just a fine job. I mean, they were still stacking wins with him there. It's not like he stood out in a bad way in terms of giving up a bunch of sacks and pressures. But clearly the coaching staff knows what they're doing, and I trust fully in what they're doing in the decision-making process. So they see that there's some talent or there's something that he can add to the roster. So that's why he was elevated from the practice roster. And then having Carter O'Donnell back, that's huge. He's such a stud, and he's one of the best offensive linemen in the CFL. So whenever you get that addition to your starting lineup, it's only going to be nothing but impactful in a positive way.
Now, if you've tried to put yourself kind of in the mind of Justin Rankin, obviously we know the success he's had this year. The last 2 weeks they've won, but they kind of haven't been those prototypical games. And I liked what I saw from them in Saskatchewan, at least not going away from the run game, like trying to keep that Roughriders defense honest and know that they're not going to become one-dimensional. But for Justin Rankin, what do you think his mindset is going into this game? Because, he's just, chomping at the bit to break off a big play here.
Yeah, not to get cliche, man, but I'm really of the nature and the thought process that it's just win, baby. Al Davis style. Let's just win by any means necessary. It doesn't matter how. It doesn't matter where. They just are going to stack the wins. It can be a 19-17 win like it was against BC, a defensive battle, or it can be an offensive showcase. And teams are going to be keying on Justin Rankin. So because he had the early success in the season that he did, everybody's on notice. And I can tell you, having played against some top-notch guys like John Cornish, Andrew Harris, when these types of running backs are going off, your mindset going into the game as a defensive player is, this player is not going to beat us. We're not going to let him beat us. All our attention is going to be on him. Well, when that's the case, all of a sudden, Cody Fajardo airs it out for 510 passing yards because you're so focused on shutting down the run. The play action sucks and draws up so much attention that you have TJ Luther running deep. You have Austin Mack running deep. You have Keon Julian Grant running deep. And there's so many weapons, and that's going to allow Justin Rankin to, again, have success. So it's the chicken or the egg, right? The passing game and all those other weapons, that's going to help open up Justin Rankin. And when Justin Rankin gets going, that's going to open up the other the other options for the playmakers that they have on the wideouts. So it's such an awesome thing to have, the way that this offense really can flow. In the defense, I mean, don't even get me started here, Connor. This is the best defense in the league, baby.
Yeah, and you know what? I think they probably take a little, hey, they won the game. There's some coachable moments from last game, but something that they can clean up as well. So it's going to be fun. Eddie Steele of Elks Nation, former CFLer as well. You can hear him on the Tom Gazzola Show Mondays and Fridays. Joining us here on the Gregor Show, Halley sitting in. I just want to ask you from a defensive lineman's perspective, because, you know, kind of just going back to my previous point, in the game against BC, Justin Rankin had 7 carries. They kind of got away from running the football, almost doubles that in the win against Saskatchewan. When you're playing on the defensive line, and I guess throughout that defense, how much simpler does it get when you just see this team coming out and become one-sided and, you know, going away from one aspect of the game?
It becomes way easier, right? When you can limit an offense and kind of dictate the game plan defensively and force them to be a one-dimensional team, it's always a more favorable situation for you on defense, and you can just get after it. And then there's a sense of confidence out there too, knowing that you're kind of, at the end of the day, it's an alpha male sport, and whenever you're dominating your opponent and knowing that you're forcing them into something that they don't necessarily want to do and they can't establish what they want to do, man, that's such a good feeling, and it's a dominating feeling. And at the end of the day, football is about dominating the man across from you, so it's quite a thing.
Eddie Steele joining us here on the Gregor Show. So outside of the things we've discussed already, what are you watching out for in the game tomorrow?
Well, one little tidbit that's very interesting to see is whenever Leak is on the field in offensive sets, the offense has success. Now, I'm not saying substitute Rank for Leak, but if you can get both on the field, and Rank is still going to need to get his rest on the sideline, so that's when you can get Leak his touches. But the offense flows really well, and they really have some good success. And Leak, I mean, he had an amazing touchdown here the other day. But not just the touchdown. He continuously gains first downs with passes that he turns up the sideline for 15, 20 yards. So that's one thing. And then the biggest thing is the crowd, man. Holy smokes. Edmonton, shout out to you. Hats off to you. I know people are saying, oh, it's because Saskatchewan's coming. They're a big draw. Yeah, so what? Your team is 6-1, and you guys are showing out so much so that the upper bowl has to be opened up. So I just want to tip my cap to you. Thank you for the support. As a proud alumni, someone who bleeds the green and gold, it's so amazing to see, and I'm so proud to call Edmonton home.
Are you going to be there in attendance? And if so, you taking in the tailgate as well?
I will be there. I will be early. I will be excited to meet people, and it's going to be awesome atmosphere. I mean, the tailgate is normally I show up, you know, fairly late, like right before kickoff. I try to make the tailgate, but it's tough with the family and stuff. This week, no, man, I'm going to be there early celebrating. It's a vibe, man. I can't wait to be out. The weather, if you check the forecast, it's going to be a sunny day. So I'm going to go bake on the east side, and I can't wait to see people because, like I said, it's going to be the place to be. And that's what Commonwealth used to be with this franchise. And I feel it, man. If you can't feel this wave, and I said this about a month and a half ago, get on this train because it ain't stopping. And it hasn't stopped. And if you can't feel the momentum that is building, man, there's something wrong with your pulse because it is so exciting right now with this Double E Football Club.
Yeah, couldn't have said any better than myself. There was a clip of Chargers offensive coordinator Mike McDaniel saying, if this doesn't get you excited, you're dead. You have no pulse. So it's going to be outstanding. Just quickly, Eddie, I don't know if you caught the game last night. The BC Lions going into Winnipeg and running all over them. Xander Horvath, $191. The quarterback, Caden Salter, his first start, didn't have to throw the ball very much. Only 7 completions, but ran for 160. What is going on in the CFL? Like, I don't know week to week who's going to win. There's the teams that are the top, and I think you have the Elks and then the Montreal Alouettes, the Roughriders there as well. And then this rest of this league, I don't know what's happening. I don't know who's good. I don't know who's bad. It just seems to change week to week.
Dude, it's crazy, man. Any given Sunday, it's no cliche. That's the reality of pro football. But I'll tell you this. Look, let's name these teams across the league who are on their backups. Well, it's everybody but Edmonton, Calgary, and Saskatchewan. And Calgary, their offensive output is insane. It's just their defense sucks. They have the most points given up. So the teams with the starting quarterbacks, because BC's on their backup, Winnipeg's on their backup, Hamilton backup. Oh, sorry, I left Montreal out as well. The 4 teams that have their starting quarterbacks all are very successful, and look at their records. I mean, it shows. So you need to have your starting QB. So the up and down nature of the games week to week, that's what you're going to get when you have backups playing the game. You just don't know what you're going to get out there. So that's why it's even more important, and I'll pump the defensive horn again, to have a stout, sturdy defense, because at the end of the day, defense does win championships despite having offensive success.
Eddie, thanks so much for joining us today. We appreciate it and can't wait to hear your thoughts after the game. Are you going to be on the show Tuesday with TG, or since it's a long weekend, you'll just be delaying your thoughts till Friday?
We talked about it. We'll see. We'll see if TG will let me get on and, yap my mouth off. We'll figure it out.
If it's me, I'm saying just roll in Tuesday at 7. But thanks for doing this today. We appreciate it, and we'll talk to you later.
Yeah, you boys be well, man. Thank you.
There you go. Eddie Steele, Wanye Cup champion, Grey Cup champion, human champion, radio champion, joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Of course, Elks Nation twice a week with our very own Declan Kruger, and you love that energy. We had Ranger Nick saying, we love him. Edmonton Homer. I said, yeah, we need him. That's the vibes we need. Like, go down there, make some noise, have some fun. It's a great environment. And I got to say, walk around the tailgate. You're going to have a good time. Gas station champion. Yeah. For those who don't know, he, on the road, will take his food into a gas station and use their microwave and then dip out.
Really?
Heat up his food, yeah. But as Chris Morris said, there's going to be like food there tomorrow. Some of the local community leaders have been doing that sort of thing. So it's just a good time. Even if you're not going to the game, go to the tailgate and then get lured into the game because it's awesome.
It's going to be the game of the year.
Yeah, 100%. Are you going to go, you think?
Oh, yeah.
You're making an appearance?
Wanye Jr.'s in tow.
Is he fired up?
Oh, yeah. He's got his second Elks trumpet, the plastic trumpets. The first one I disassembled and then threw out half of it so that he would be perplexed as to why the trumpet doesn't work. Now he has a second trumpet, which they sold to him. And then 10 feet away, a security guard said, please don't play that trumpet. And I said, but I bought it literally right there. And they went, nope.
No, Mr. Security Guard.
So we're bringing that trumpet back to play it because we learned 0 lessons.
I had a buddy, Alberta, if you're listening. Well, we'd go down to the Labor Day games year after year for a long time. Saw them win once or twice. But that little horn, not only did it double for consuming beer at a rapid pace, but drove Stampeders fans crazy. So, hey, I was on board for it. I think it's good. If you're selling it, you got to let the kids use it.
He takes it into the shower often and plays it in his morning shower. And I hear like a Viking call to morning. But it's his Elks tutor, he calls it.
To tutor. Well, I can't wait to hear it tomorrow.
He'll be there.
The game. MTR, a little more information says it's not just food, Connor. It's usually fish, tuna that he's heating up in the microwave. No, not for you.
Well, I'm not telling Eddie Steele with arms bigger than my legs what to do at any point. And so do as you wish, sir.
That is fair. That's fair. We'll take a break. When we come back, 5 questions with Declan Kruger. You do not want to miss this. It is the Jason Gregor Show, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Say hello to Alberta's home for reeling and dealing. With Play Alberta, you can spin into the excitement of popular slots like Cash Eruption and Desert Fantasy. Experience Alberta-exclusive games and get in on the action of live dealer tables with all new elevated stakes. However you prefer to play, the fun is ready when you are. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
So you're dying from the heat, sweat dripping on your sheets. You want to cool it down, but your AC can't compete. So you fall upon your knees and cry out, oh please, I need a cooling breeze. Stanley Legacy's AC Repair.
Legacy's AC Repairman.
AC Repair.
Can't spell legacy without AC.
Legacy Heating and Cooling's got a guy who's really good at fixing broken ACs. So if you got one, call Legacy. Okay, see you later.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Oodle Noodle Origins.
In 1864, Francis Oodle took over his dying father's business as a leatherman. He was quite proficient, but his heart was never truly in the trade. After his father's death, Oodle met a cocksure young man named Vladimir Nudel, who was a trailblazer in the popular new art of food boxes. They formed a partnership and aimed to ply their trade in the New World. At Ellis Island, Nudel was renamed David Noodle, and henceforth, the franchise has been known as
Oodle Noodle.
There's still time to book your tournament at the Ranch Golf and Country Club.
As one of Alberta's top tourney courses, the Ranch makes hosting fun and easy for any group or business. No matter how unique or unusual, they'll accommodate your vision for an event no one will soon forget.
Start planning your tournament today at their beautifully landscaped course on the outskirts of West Edmonton. On-site event coordinators are here to help, but hurry, availability is limited and booking fast.
Visit theranchgolf.com.
It's the hard jobs that take know-how, expertise, and the right experience. And that's why, time and time again, GS Construction gets the call when it comes to the hard jobs. Underground projects that are genuinely difficult, like deep installs, tough ground conditions, or tight urban sites. So remember, when it's a hard job, the list gets short, and GS Construction is on it. Want to tackle the hard jobs? We're looking for experienced pipe layers and topmen. Visit gsconstruction.ca today.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
It might have been scraped by the snowblower, dented while door crashing, or crunched at the company Christmas party. At some point over the winter, your car was damaged and it's been hiding under a coat of winter grime.
Then come and see Robertson Body Works. We can take care of the damage and the dirt. This week only, call and book a repair and get a complete auto detailing absolutely free.
But you have to book your appointment before the week is up. Go to robertsonbodyworks.com.
I'm Tim Robertson, and I fix cars.
We just dropped a massive payload at NISQ 4. It's time to unload some deals at the Truckload of Savings event. If you've been waiting to upgrade, we've backed up the savings with unbeatable offers on our toughest Ford. Right now, haul away exactly what you need and take advantage of massive price drops across our entire lineup, including the legendary Ford F-150 for the job site or the weekend getaway. Shop the Truckload of Savings at nisqford.ca. Nisq Ford, above expectations.
Portions of this hour brought to you by 01 Hockeyology, Edmonton's home for elite hockey development, skating analysis, performance assessments, and year-round training at West Edmonton Mall. Elite hockey development at 01.ca. That's ZERONE.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Show here on Sports 1440. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, Wanye Gretz, Mackenzie McLennan with you here. Show brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Lotto Max tonight, 15 mil tomorrow. The Gold Ball Jackpot, 40 mil. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. You can also do some sports. Remember, use your Game Sense. Right now, let's get to 5 questions with Declan Kruger, brought to you by The Brick. Come to The Brick for your chance to win over $1 million in prizes. 1 in 10 will be a winner, and you can score incredible deals on TVs, mattresses, furniture, which I might go do, and more. The Brick, saving you more.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
Sorry about that one. Little pause there with the computer. Question number 1. How many fans will we see for the Elks and Riders?
What's 30,000 to open up the top bowl, right?
That's what they said, yeah.
That's what you unlock
And
it
we
as?
had heard it was like 31,000 earlier today.
And they were selling 2,000 tickets a day.
Mm-hmm.
So 31, they've got another day of 3, 35,000.
I like that number. I'm going to go a little lower and a little more accurate. 34,821.
Come on.
Yeah. Deck, what do you got?
What did you say, Wanye?
35,000.
Yeah, I'll say 34 to 35, right in that range.
Price is Right rules, closest to without going over.
3501.
Yeah.
One
One person.
Question number 2. The line for Saskatchewan and Edmonton is Saskatchewan at -2.5. The over and under 59.5. Where is your money going? +1 player prop.
I'm going to take the Elks in this one with the cover as well. And my player prop, I guess it would depend where I'm going. If I play Alberta, I would check out the rushing total for Justin Rankin because, hey, I'm banging the drum. I feel like it's coming. The game is coming where he's going to bust one, and it'll be there. The offensive line, they got their guys back in the interior. And also give me a Javon Leake anytime touchdown. It was music to my ears to hear what Eddie said about Javon Leake because I said that like 2 weeks ago and people told me to shut up. I was like, we got to get it. This guy can make some plays and I don't want to do it at the expense of Rankin, but I want to find ways to get him some reps as well. And was good to see him get that touchdown. I'm going to say another one tomorrow.
Declan, can you explain to me how the line could open Saskatchewan -2.5 and now it's Edmonton 1.5? Is that just how many bets were placed?
It opened actually at Edmonton -1.5 because on Elks Nation on Monday, we do our betting lines of the week segment every Monday on Elks 101, and we all took Edmonton at -1.5. So to see the fact that Saskatchewan is that injured, like no AJ Ouellette, Sam Emlis, game time decision, no Roland Milligan, and the line has been bet 3 points in Saskatchewan's favor, absolutely insane.
So
but yes, it does get bet. It gets bet down that way. Like as heavier bets come in on one side, the sports book will adjust it.
I got you.
Yeah.
I would take Edmonton to win, but I'd take the under at 59.5. That to me, I think there's going to be bad weather, not to jinx everything.
Maybe some rain.
But I could see them going to a running game and not airing it out. So I'll take the windy under.
That kind of goes along with my over for rushing yards for Justin Rankin.
Totally.
All right. Declan, are you feeling anything special?
Edmonton at +2.5 and the under.
All right.
Question number 3. Who are the current best players in the 4 major North American sports, and who will those 4 players be passing the torch to?
Connor McDavid to Macklin Celebrini.
Not Connor Bedard?
No.
I wonder if it might be someone like, I think Connor might stay the best player in the world long enough that by the time he passes it, it'll be to someone who's coming up beneath Macklin.
Wow.
I'm just curious.
Maybe.
I don't know. Who knows?
Baseball, Shohei. Geez, I don't know. Baseball, I got nothing for you. I don't know who the next stud's going to be. Could be anyone. Football, right now, best player, like, how much are we weighing positional value?
I'll leave this one up to you, my man, because I don't know. Like, it's a tough one, right?
Miles Garrett just broke a sack record.
I was thinking Miles Garrett too. Miles Garrett too.
Like, if I was going with him and then pass it off to, well, when he retires, it'll be a quarterback who's going to be at the top of the game. Oh, for fun, let's just say Fernando Mendoza. Give the Raiders some hope. In the NBA, best player right now. Well, SGA won MVP again, and then he'll hand it off to Wemby. Major League Baseball, I got nothing. What do you think, Wanye?
I would say I'm with you, Otani to I don't know who.
Somebody.
But that's an easy one. Connor, I like your take, Dak, that we don't know who the new one is yet. Because he's like 13.
So you're going to tell me like McDavid is going to be the best player for the next, let's say, how long? 5 years. And then 24-year-old, 25-year-old Macklin Celebrini is going to be surpassed by a 19-year-old?
Well, in
You guys
5
are
years, he's
wild.
only going to be 34. So I think it's going to be longer than that. Like,
Well-
I think he might be the best player in the world till he's 36. Like, legitimately. By that point, Macklin will be 27. I don't think it's that crazy to think there'd be a 24-year-old or a 23-year-old he might hand it off to.
Yeah,
No, I
maybe.
could be wrong, but
You guys hate Macklin Celebrini.
He's going to be
Not
weighed
me.
down by all this money.
He's going to settle.
It's going to take a lot for him not to turn. That's
Turn
a lot
what?
of turn lazy, turn
Oh.
rich, start wearing Louis Vuitton to games, and getting his.
he's making $600K a year after taxes in California.
That's it.
Doesn't even have that much money.
That's what keeps him humble. It's really
He's
good.
making
actually.
less than a meta engineer.
Deck, what's your basketball one? Out of curiosity, you can do them all, but I'm curious about the NBA.
Wemby just hands it to Wemby. I think Wemby's the best player in the world. I think by the time he hands it off, it's going to be to a kid who isn't born yet. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Question number 4. Which NFL team will it be this year's New England?
You want to
Connor
go?
asked me to say the Chargers.
Yeah, good pick. Good pick.
Because it's Positive Friday, I'll indulge the Chargers.
I guess for me, I'm gonna go with the Cincinnati Bengals because since we've been talking football again on Sports 1440, I've just been hyping up Joe Burrow, QB1. If the defense is improved, I think they could win that division. He's already got his team to a Super Bowl once. They got the weapons on the offensive side of the football. So if Joe Burrow stays healthy, I like the Bengals. Deck, who was your selection?
Man, I had a really crazy out of left field one. The Titans.
Wow.
Yep.
Although I've seen some people that like him. You see their point differential last year?
Yeah, pretty bad.
Minus 194.
Pretty
But
bad.
not as bad as the Jets, who were minus 203.
I don't know if I think the Titans could be a Super Bowl team, but I think we got to be very real here with the fact the Patriots' schedule was, they lost to the Raiders last year, by the way. Like, their schedule was a joke. Their playoff run was, listen, it was pretty gifted. I'm not saying Tennessee's going to do that, but if, things break the right way, maybe Cam Ward does something in year 2, I'll take the Titans.
All right.
Question number 5. Give me your Mount Rushmore of dude things.
Now, just elaborate for our listeners because I want them to text in too.
Okay. Do you want my Mount Rushmore then?
Hit me.
Yeah,
So,
let's start
all
with
right.
you.
Yeah. So when I say the Mount Rushmore of dude things, this is what I have on my Mount Rushmore. Number 1 for me, working on the car. It's a dude thing. Number 2, watching sports. I know that's not necessarily specific to dudes, but I think it's much more of a dude thing to watch 12 hours of football on a Sunday with a beer in hand than it is for their female counterparts. 3rd on there, I had having a beer in the garage. That's a dude thing. And number 4, I had building a deck.
So wholesome.
I might have misinterpreted this segment. I'll give you mine. Like, honorable mention, dude thing, and it could be a everyone thing, but like when you hit every green light on the way home, as a man, that makes me pretty excited.
A terrible pick.
Multiple TVs in a room.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good pick.
Naming random athletes with the boys.
That's a great pick.
I think we all have a bit of a sensitive side. I love seeing a guy get his life together. When there's those posts and it's like, check out the new room and it's like a chair and a mattress and a TV. I'm like, attaboy. Way to go, man. I'm happy for you. And my last one is throwing a ball around. I mean, Deck, we do this in the studio a bunch. It could be throwing a ball around. It could be juggling a soccer ball. When there's a ball and like you're with the boys, it's like, it's going to get thrown around. So those would be the ones that came to mind for me. Just kind of dude things.
Wow. This is so much more wholesome than I had expected. I had like fun stuff like battle rapping. Deck? You're just in a cipher out of nowhere and you're just laying heat.
It's not a bad pick, although I think it's more of like, that's a 7th rounder at best.
Sure. Parkour, you're just hanging with the boys and suddenly you're scaling a 9-story building. That's dude things. Swinging an imaginary golf club when there's no golfing around.
I do that a lot. I don't even golf.
And then this is for me. If you talk to me for more than about 20 minutes, every single conversation, no matter where it starts, will end talking about the 2006 Cup run. Because I'm not over it. I may never be over it. And I like to tell strangers about it. And I like to make them watch YouTube and the intro to Hockey Night in Canada with Nickelback.
Yeah.
I've showed that to hundreds of people in my life. Those are my 4.
All right. Russ in the Burn says, I've got a recliner in front of a 75-inch and a 65-inch Xbox up top and shoes below. Shows or shoes? Probably shows. That's not bad. Hunting and fishing are good ones from Declan to Cat. Must have popped up last second. Yeah, smoking food, working on a car, hunting and fishing. At some point, I'm probably going to start smoking food. I think that's just inevitable. I hate car stuff, so that one couldn't be me. Tying something down and saying, that's not going anywhere. Walking past a bag of soil and tapping it. I love doing that too.
It was fun the other day after all the flooding to go clean out the sewer grate.
Yeah?
Be like, nope, not today. I'm going to clean you right out. Get all those sticks out of there. And then when the rain came back, good to go.
Yeah. That's like a nice guy move.
Is that a dude thing or is that a citizen thing?
I think that's peak citizen.
Yeah.
Hitting mall walkers with a crossover to get by them. Oh, yeah. That's nice.
Yeah, like Euro stepping a door is a big one.
Or like working on a swim move around a corner.
What about
when I'm working on my pass rush moves?
You go past a door and you just like smack it on the way out to show the world you can.
It's a big one too.
Grabbing a drill or impact and hitting the trigger a few times. Yeah, you got to do that.
Got it. That's a good call. That's a good call.
That's from Kyle.
Kyle, you're right.
Russ in the Burn says his setup also does have a beer fridge beside the TV. That's not bad.
What about a garage with a calendar that's like 17 years out of date? And
Yeah.
you're like, oh, 2013, that was a doozy.
After like 17 years, you could almost reuse it too.
I have a buddy who did that. I go, why do you have an old calendar? He's like, that's the year I want to remember.
Interesting. Let us know your top dude things. Deck, did you have like any other honorable mentions that came to mind for you?
Yeah, you mentioned the hunting and fishing. I thought that was a really good one. Hunting especially. I really kind of emptied the chamber with my top 4. I don't know if I had too many others.
Mac, you got any dude things you like?
Okay, well, I'm not a dude.
You want to put any
Burping,
girl
maybe.
things
But-
you want to do?
Burping would actually be up there, I think.
But I spend like 97% of the time surrounded by males. So I feel like I'm well versed. Showing your bets to people and talking about them.
Yeah.
I couldn't care less, but I'm really glad you guys are showing and care.
About what?
Like check out this parlay.
Like any sports betting.
Like
Yeah.
6-leg parlays that are
Yeah.
going to turn $2,000 into $100, but you missed 3 of the legs.
Yeah. Dylan will be like, look at this. Like the odds are insane. And I was like, I don't even know how betting
I have a
works,
buddy who
so-
does that. It drives me absolutely through the wall. He'll place like a 6-leg parlay, and when it busts on like the second leg, he's like, "Well, I lost $100,000." I was like, "You lost $8, man! Like, shut up."
Peter says ice fishing in the shack, enjoying a nice rum. That does sound quite nice.
Shooting a Gatling gun into the sky.
Yeah. Bleeding out in the snow.
Sick.
Swifty said, being asked by your wife to hang pictures or shelves. Then when she comes to ask, I should have pre-read this. If you need help, you tell her to leave because you got this on your own. Then immediately grabbing her afterwards to ask her if she thinks it's only level for her to say it's not. Then you have to restart. I didn't know if that was going to go bad for air.
How about faking an injury? That's a dude thing. I can't help hang that shelf. What with this crippling pain?
To get out of something?
Shooting guns would be one as well.
Yeah. I've never shot a gun.
It's the best.
Wouldn't know.
You should go to like the gun club and they
Like
teach
shooting
you-
range beside us?
and they pull. No. You got it. Well, shout out to the shooting range here at the mall. Strange that it exists, but shout out. You want to go to the outside one where they like shoot a clay pigeon?
Pull.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's great. There's a thrill to it.
Andrew says petting the heck out of a dog.
Come on.
Nothing more wholesome than that.
Sliding off a highway into the ditch and then recovering back onto the road.
I've never done that. I once went sideways on an icy road and then recovered. That was pretty cool. How about pushing guys out of a ditch? That's pretty manly.
That's huge. I did a 360 once driving down by the Mayfair, like down that hill from the school. 360 on ice.
Landed it.
I was not a man that day. I had to pull over.
Oh, really?
I was freaking out. What if I'd shot off the bridge into the river?
Yeah. That would have been bad.
Have you ever been in a car and had like a moment where you're like, I am not in control, even though I'm at the steering wheel?
Yeah. Well, going to Elks practice once, I got hit. It rode off my car and I was spinning. It was not icy, but I was spinning. And I thought, like, I'm going to hit 3 cars. I'm going to roll over. Only hit 1 car, but yeah, that was my closest. Nothing probably, like, you had time to, like, literally think about it, probably.
I'm glad you made it, Connor.
Yeah, I'm glad you made it.
Thanks, man.
Guy thing, spontaneously asking your friends to come over for beers without asking permission. Shooting stick with your buddies, Dave from
nice.
Stoney.
How about just bringing up injuries and like they were like 20 years old. I got this minor hockey week injury from 97.
Yeah, telling everyone you could have made the league if it wasn't for your knees.
And your coach that just didn't believe.
Coach wouldn't play me, but
I had it. He wouldn't play me. And then I got a check from behind.
Then I got injured. I had no chance. We'll take a quick break here. Good 5 questions. Deck, when we come back, we'll get to Mark Spector plus the lowdown with Low Tide. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. We are going to get to Sports 1440 update with Declan Kruger, brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Employee pricing is on now. You pay what they pay. Get a great deal at Northgate for this month only. Shop now at northgategm.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Scores from around the majors. Pirates leading the Reds 3-2 in the middle of the third. Phillies and Orioles set to get going in about 2 minutes here, while the Cards and Jays will get going in about 4. Dylan Cease on the bump for that one. Late game tonight in the MLB, we'll see the Twins and the Mariners, as well as the Red Sox and Dodgers at 8:10. The only final today saw the Yankees over the Cubs 2-0, and the Riverhawks in action at 7:35 out in Kelowna. CFL Week 9 action, Montreal and Ottawa, 5:30 kickoff for that one tomorrow. Saskatchewan and Edmonton down at Commonwealth at 5. Joseph Cooper drawing into the lineup for Cam Carter at the right guard position. From around the sporting world, the Saskatchewan Roughriders have placed running back AJ Ouellette on the 6-game IR, while Tony Romo was placed on leave by CBS Sports following his DUI arrest. San Jose Sharks have re-signed Colin Graff to a 3-year, $12.75 million contract extension. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
When your project can't afford downtime, call Japa Equipment Rentals. From excavators and wheel loaders to compaction equipment, Japa has the machines you need. Trusted since 1972. Visit japaequipment.com or stop our Edmonton or Calgary locations.
Your weekend hotspot is at On the Rocks.
Party with Edmonton's best bands every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
And we got them all.
From the Barkells to Tallboy, Radioactive, Curves, the Brute Squad, Morningwood, Roxilla, Punch Buggy, and more.
Plus, the guy who keeps the party going every weekend. DJ Kenny K on the 1s and 2s, live.
Get ready to have a good time this weekend.
Your bar, your party. You're On the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
Jeff Brab and 118th.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 air conditioning install company for lovers, because it's been a while since you kissed her tender lips or felt his warm embrace, because it's too hot for love. But you can rekindle that fire with AC from Legacy, with no payments and no interest for 1 year. Your legacy of love will grow stronger, because with AC from Legacy, it's never too hot for love.
Kickoff is coming August 1st. Elks, Roughriders at Play Alberta Field at Commonwealth Stadium. The prehistoric party is back, presented by Purolator Tackle Hunger. Experience family-friendly fun all game long with the dinosaur-themed contest. Get your tickets at goelks.com/tickets.
An electrical solar team is now making a play for sustainability and savings. They're specialists in powering up for a greener future.
That's the strategy, designing and installing high-efficiency solar panels. They're helping homes and businesses combat rising utility costs by harnessing the power of the sun.
A smart move for efficiency and the environment. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Noodle, 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 noodle. Noodle, 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 noodle.
noodle 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 noodle. Noodle 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 noodle.
Trouble low down to Oodle Noodle tonight because dine-in is open.
For over 60 years, the folks at Diablo Boots have been selling the best Canadian-made boots. Handcrafted in Winnipeg, Canada West makes the best quality cowboy, biker, and work boots for Diablo Boots with replaceable soles and heels. Why buy cheaper quality like Ariat, Justin, and Red Wing made in China when Canadian-made is better? Support Canada's workers and Diablo Boots for the best boots. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Canada West and Diablo Boots, the two best names in the boots business.
Does your bank do local? We do. When you bank with Vision Credit Union, you're banking with a rural Albertan cooperative that cares about the community where you live. There's no question. We actively support our rural communities at the local level through charitable donations, volunteerism, local team and event sponsorships, and by returning millions in profit shares to our members every year. Does your bank do that? We do local. Bank with Vision Credit Union. VisionCU.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and Twitch, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Tonight, you got the Lotto Max $15 million, and then tomorrow, the Gold Ball Jackpot for Lotto 649, estimated $40 million. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca, and remember, of course, to always use your game sense. Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz, Declan Kruger, Mackenzie McLennan here with you right now. It is time to get to the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction. GS Construction, they're hiring operators, pipe layers, top men, working for a fantastic company that loves to promote from within with great benefits. Also, huge sports fans. Apply at gsconstruction.ca and search careers. Spec, happy Friday. How you doing today?
Doing great, man. How you doing?
Doing good, and really encouraging today to see the Edmonton Elks. Well, they had the press conference after the walkthrough. Chris Morris announcing the upper deck will be opened. I checked it out. Looks like on Ticketmaster, you got 3 sections there available for tickets, and I don't know what to tell you. Upper deck, pretty good spot to watch football. You see the entirety of the field. You see things open up, and just another encouraging step today for the green and gold.
Yeah, for sure. Did I hear that they emailed some people who used to have upper deck season tickets and offered to swap their seats? Is that right?
There was an email that was set up to season ticket holders. I can't confirm if it was the previous upper deck people, but that would sound about right because those people were obviously not happy when they were forced down.
Yeah, for sure. So that's just a sort of a savvy marketing play there. And, we were talking this morning about there's a cost to opening up the upper deck. I'm sure there's more ushers, there's more cleaning. It's got to pay for itself. You can't just, you could do it on spec, but if you don't get enough people sitting up there, you're going to lose money. So it looks like they'll do just fine on Saturday. They got a big crowd coming, and let's hope we get back to a stadium where they don't have to close areas where we know going in every day that the lower deck's not going to be enough and we're going to need the upper deck. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Oh, 100%. And I'll ask you, I don't know if you remember exactly, but when it was announced they were going to do this, the concept to me made sense, even if I didn't like it. Were you a fan at the time of doing it?
Well, for sure. Listen, I don't know, what is the lower bowl seating? Do we know the number?
30,000?
Yeah, I'm going to say same thing, 28 to 30,000. Well, when you're only drawing 15 or 12 or 10, of course you close the upper deck. Of course you don't let people up there that now I got to pay ushers, I got to pay cleaners. I have to, of course you do. They're not making any money down in Elks land, folks, when they're drawing 12,000 people. So that's a cost cutting measure is what it is. You don't want some people sitting up in row 72 all by themselves doing who knows what, right? That doesn't work when you're an operator. So I totally get it. It's up to, now they've been, I'm going to say they've been forced to open the top level. I'm sure they're very happy to be forced to open it, but you know what? Increased attendance. I think it's awesome. It's awesome that the obvious decision today was to open up a few sections up there. Let's go.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun game tomorrow, too. 5 o'clock, Carter O'Donnell returning to the lineup. That's big for the green and gold. And, I'm just looking around the CFL right now. Like the Edmonton Elks and Montreal Alouettes, clear-cut top teams in the league. But with the win tomorrow, Saskatchewan obviously enters that conversation again. BC last night goes into Winnipeg and just runs all over them. You've got Hamilton and Calgary at 3-4, and then the Red Blacks just can't get a win. It's crazy. If you're looking at the CFL spec, if I said Montreal, Saskatchewan, Edmonton, the only good teams right now, would you disagree? Do you have anyone else that you could even consider putting in that category?
I mean, BC's coming up from underneath. They weren't supposed to be a good team. They haven't been a good team, and now they won a couple games. And like I watched a whole bunch of that game last night. They kind of look like a good team. The running back Xander, what's his last name?
Xander Horvath.
Yeah, 191 yards ran for, and they couldn't tackle him. Now, I didn't like Winnipeg a bit, and it's sort of weird. Like Winnipeg is like they've earned your respect, right? They've been to all these great cups. They've been the best team in the CFL for years, and to watch them get walked over in their own park last night was it was just strange to see. It was odd. It didn't meet your eye, but they're not very good. Winnipeg's not very good. Calgary, if they can find a defense, they got a really strong offense. So let's see. We're only a third of the way into the season here, folks. Like I'm not declaring winners or losers yet. There's a long way to go. There's lots of games. I don't think the Elks are going to go 6-1. Well, it's an 18-game season, so 5-1 through each third of their season. That would be, you're talking about going 15-3. Is that going to happen? I mean, I got to see that to believe it. So it's been good. It's been good. Some of the good news is we're seeing some turnover. It's not just the same Winnipeg being good and other teams being bad. Now the Elks are on top, and it's a nice change.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see the 1981 14-1-1 season then winning the Grey Cup, as impressive as it might be. Maybe down the road if they keep on building, but it is a nice change. As Mark Spector joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show, Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz sitting in, and not much going on in the NHL, but Colin Graff re-upping with the San Jose Sharks. Spec, what do you make of the job that Mike Grier has done with this team? Because in the offseason, like before free agency started, we were questioning how are they going to rebuild that blue line? Well, they bring in Darnell Nurse and Jacob Trouba. It's going to be expensive, but they do it. They re-sign Malcolm Celebrini. They bring in Mason Marchment, a few other guys. What have you thought of the job they've done in San Jose?
Yeah, they're into sort of phase 2 now of this rebuild, right? They've drafted lots of young guys. They've got some, they've hit on some, missed on a couple, but they feel like, like on their blue line, they brought in Sam Dickinson, they drafted him, and it looks like he's really going to be a player. Is Askarov the goalie? I'm not sure, right? I'm not positive about that. Him and Nedeljkovic, I don't know. They have Comrie too. So they got 3 guys there. And frankly, they're all NHL goalies. Eric Comrie, Alex Nedeljkovic, and Askarov. I'm not sure what you're doing with all 3 of those guys. But they're into phase 2. It's the time now to bring in some veterans, like they bring in Darnell Nurse and Jacob Trouba are awesome guys. Dmitry Orlov's the blue line. He's been around a long time. I mean, I think that's really going to help build a dressing room, help the culture, and they can still play. I don't mind Trouba's game a bit. And then up top, Tyler Toffoli's still kicking around there to mix in with all these young guys. Kiefer Sherwood they signed, right? So they got, I think it's time now to realistically look at the playoffs in this division. They're better than Calgary. They're better than Vancouver. I think they can be almost as good as Anaheim. They could be better than LA. It's time for San Jose now to start thinking about third place, at least in the Pacific. What do you think?
I was going to say, and that was going to be my next question, like what for this San Jose Sharks team is a passing grade? Is it being competitive after the deadline and fighting for a playoff spot, or do they need to get into that maybe wild card spot too? Heck, if things go correctly and they play out the way we think they have and they stay healthy, because, Malcolm Celebrini, that centerpiece of it all. So I'll ask you, what do you think gives them a passing grade? What result do they need?
Well, I mean, where are we here, right? They've missed the playoffs 7 years in a row. You know, when did the rebuild start? I don't know when the rebuild started. It doesn't start in the first year. You know, this was a team that lost. Like, I'm looking at their hockey DB. In 16, they went to their only Stanley Cup final and they lost. Then they went 1 round, then they went 2 rounds, then they went 3 rounds, and then off the cliff. Haven't made the playoffs since. It's been 7 consecutive seasons of missing the playoffs. They're done with the first start of their rebuild. They've made some good decisions. They've got a franchise player. They got some guys we like. So, yeah, it's now time to start the challenge for a playoff spot. I mean, you missed for 7 years here. What's next? Are we going to be Buffalo and miss for 14? Like, how many are we going to miss for? So they find themselves in probably the worst division in the league still. And I don't think there's, you know, the Vegas and Edmonton are good teams. LA's somewhere below a really good team. And Anaheim, they were a good team 1 year in a row. Let's see what they bring to the table this year. I think there's tons of room for San Jose to barge in and step ahead of the Kings and even step ahead of Anaheim.
Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz, Declan Kruger, Mackenzie McLennan with you. Looking at Major League Baseball trade deadline and spec, we've seen it in the NHL where these GMs are kind of one-upping each other, trying to get ahead, leading the week up. With Major League Baseball, it's still been a little bit slow going into the weekend, but I'm sure it will ramp up by Monday. How many trades do you think the Blue Jays will end up making?
I think that we'll see them unload a couple of guys like Springer, Gausman. I'd love to see Gausman go to the Cubs. That would be awesome. And I've been hearing rumors about that, which sounds like, you know, the Cubs could use a starter for sure. I think you will see, you know, does Varsho go? I mean, is there a contending team that needs what Varsho does for you? Like defensively, he's really good. He's been inconsistent hitting this year, but I'll tell you what, if I don't like my center fielder, I don't mind Varsho one bit stepping in for him. So I do think, Connor, I think they'll unload a couple of the guys we've been accustomed to watching in the Blue Jays uniform after the last couple of years. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. And, you know, for a chance for Gausman kind of later on in his career, those opportunities like they had last year doesn't happen that often. So for him in this situation, you know, go to a contender. I like that. And yeah, a couple other guys for sure I think would be good. And the Jays can kind of, you know, hope that maybe their value is boosted because you just mentioned these guys have been to the World Series last year. They have that experience. You want this in your clubhouse and maybe you just get a little bit more from them. But yeah, I think 3-4 trades probably would make sense for this team. Last one for you, Spec. We'll go back to the Elks because we've been asking the question. I've drawn up this scenario and we're going to be giving away some tickets to tomorrow's game. We'll say you're ineligible for this one, but you're on the 10-yard line. You have to score a touchdown. No time left on the clock. Down by 5. Which receiver in Elks or Eskimos history are you throwing the ball to?
Okay, so I need a guy that never misses. I need a guy I can throw a short bullet to, low to the ground that only he can catch. It's either Tommy Scott or Brian Kelly, one of the two. I'm not throwing a big 20-yard fade into the corner, even though Jason Tucker invented that play and was unbelievable. There's some chance there. I'm rolling out my quarterback, and I got 3 guys rolling up, running different distances of corner routes or whatever. And Warren Moon used to throw that ball a yard off the ground. No one could get to it but Tommy Scott, and Tommy Scott never ever missed that ball. So I'll take Tommy Scott in that situation every day. Who do you have?
Well, I'll just say the names you mentioned, Tom Scott, Brian Kelly, were very popular amongst our listeners. And I kind of went the one that you mentioned. Now, I said it would be Tucker, or I'll go Mookie Mitchell, the corner route from Ricky Ray. I remember watching that multiple times from my upper Y seats. And the second it left Ricky Ray's hand, celebrating the touchdown.
It was money. He just dropped that thing in there. Like no one dropped it in the rain barrel like Ricky Ray, man. He just looped that ball. Again, the only guy could get to it was Tucker, and he always got to it.
Yeah, over the shoulder and impressive. And celebrating the second it left his fingertips. It was great. So if you want to go to the game tomorrow, let us know your answer, and we'll pick a winner coming up in the next 20 minutes or so. Spec, thanks so much for doing this. Enjoy the long weekend.
I will for sure, man. Have lots of fun. Everybody be safe.
There you go. Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet joins us every day here on the Jason Gregor Show. You can also catch him on the Tom Gazzola Show weekly as well. We'll take a quick break here. When we come back, we'll be joined by everybody's friend, Alan Mitchell. It is the Jason Gregor Show, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Car shopping sucks. That's right. Going back and forth 100 times just to get a price. Give me your credit card for a test drive. What's all these extra fees? That sounds ridiculous. At Northgate, we do things a little differently. Good deals on new, pre-owned vehicles, good people, and a great selection. And don't forget about our employee pricing. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Attention Alberta construction pros. For over 50 years, Jaffa Equipment Rentals has been your go-to for top-notch equipment and stellar service. Whether you need rentals or expert maintenance, we've got you covered. Stop by our Edmonton or Calgary locations today.
Come on down to the Brick for your chance to win over $1 million in prizes. They're giving away mattresses, appliances, big screen TVs, and more. No purchase necessary. 1 in 10 will be a winner. Plus, the Price is Right live event kicks off with incredible 5-day deals, like save $70 on the 32-inch 1080p QLED TV. Below cost at just $129. Thursday through Monday only. Some conditions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
It's dollar drink summer at McDonald's. Sip on a refreshing small fountain drink or a small iced coffee for just $1 each plus tax, all summer long. Only at McDonald's. Excludes flavored and cloud iced coffees. At participating Canadian restaurants. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. The goal of every one of the thousands of hair restoration procedures I've performed is a full, natural-looking head of hair. I work directly with my patients for the consultation, the procedure, and the follow-up, so we can achieve the best results possible. When people see what we accomplish, I don't want them to think, "Wow, great hair transplant." I want them to think,
"Wow, great hair."
Go to drvanceelliott.com and contact us today.
Lux Windows was founded in 1969 with 5 people and a dream. 55 years later, our team of experts cares a whole lot about building and installing the best possible windows and doors. Because Lux is not just an Alberta-made product. We're one big Alberta-made family. Everything we are is windows and doors. A company born and bred and made in Alberta.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world, plus a variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
It's 5:25. Welcome back to the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Go check them out. We got the Gregor Show specials boosted as per usual. Remember to use your game sense. Connor Halley sitting in, Wanye Gretz. We got Country Mac, big deck here for the ride as well as we wrap up this week here on Sports 1440. No fear, though. We got Blue Jays baseball coming up next. That game underway, but we will join it in progress on our AM feed tomorrow morning. The Saturday sports setup at 9 a.m. I believe it'll be the Duke and Josh Fenwick. And then Blue Jays baseball once again getting going at 1 o'clock. Will Kevin Gosman get the start? We will wait and see. Right now, though, let's get to the Oil Report, brought to you by Go Auto, who's donated more than $27.2 million to local charities. They also take pride in supporting the communities where they live and do business. GoAuto.ca, as we are joined by the host of The Lowdown with Lowtide, also writer at The Athletic, Alan Mitchell. LT, good afternoon. How are you doing today?
Very well. Beautiful day. Gorgeous Edmonton afternoon. Preview of tomorrow and the big game at Commonwealth Stadium.
Are you outside enjoying the temperatures, or are you sitting inside in the AC?
I just was outside to make sure the dog was doing well, and because our big dog likes to lay in the sun, our little dog doesn't. So I was making sure everything was okay, and then I came inside to make sure that we had the clearest possible signal to talk to you.
Oh, that's why you are one of the best, Low Tide. So it is the Oil Report here. The Oilers, how you feeling right now about this team going into the season?
I think they've done a really good job of addressing The holes that they had, last year, I like that they've layered the goaltending. Devin Levi, I think, is going to surprise people. He's got a really nice resume. Anderson, he's really good when he's healthy, and I think that he might end up being the star of the show in net. But they got some nice defensemen in as well. I like the Ryan Shea addition. I'm a little worried about, we've heard from the general manager, we've heard from the coach, we've heard from the players that they're going to have McDavid and Draisaitl play together at 5-on-5. So that's an issue because I don't think they have a second line center. I love the Nuge, but I don't think he's that guy anymore. So maybe there'll be a late summer trade. I mean, maybe we'll see something like that. But overall, I think they've done well.
When you mentioned the goaltending there and Devin Levi, I mean, I expect we do see him, but if he's playing a lot of games, to me, that's a sign that something went wrong with either Freddie Anderson or Tristan Jarry. So let's just say, assuming those guys play well and you don't have to go to Levi, how many appearances do you think he makes?
Oh, that's a great question. 84 games. I probably would say, I think they'll give Jarry quite a few. Like, I think Jarry will get 35. Probably Anderson will get 35 if he's healthy. So we'll say he doesn't. Let's say he gets, 30, 65. So you're about 20 for Devin Levi. They'll play him like you want to keep him sharp, and you can't send him down because he won't clear waivers. So they'll play him. But I think he will be the guy who's stepping in for injuries, and this is a year where they're going to kind of get used to him. Anderson, I think, is the goalie they secretly would like to play in the playoffs, and they're hoping that Tristan Jarry recovers. When Jarry played in Pittsburgh last year, before he got injured, he was really good. He had a .913 save percentage. So I think they like him, but they've got a lot of insurance in Anderson and in Devin Levi.
Alan Mitchell, host of the Lowdown with Lowtide, joining us here on the show. Connor Halley sitting in for Jason Gregor. So with the new head coach, Mike Babcock, coming in here, LT, I'm trying to look at guys who I think might get that bump, could maybe be one of his guys. And Colton Dach comes to mind for me. He's got the size. Obviously, he was a second-round pick, so there's lots of upside there. Who comes to mind for you with guys who might get the new coach bump?
I think you're absolutely right with Dach. I also think that Matthew Joseph, the free agent that they signed, he plays a really good forechecking game. He's got really good speed, and he can penalty kill. I think that Joseph is a guy we're going to see a lot more than people think. And then, I think Ryan Shea will be a factor too. I can see Ryan Shea kind of pushing past Wallman on the second pair, and actually, if Bouchard and Ekholm don't play together, I can see Shea playing with Bouchard. Those are the two players that I think will perform very well. And I think that we have to mention Hyman and Kasperi Kapanen because they played for Babcock. So those are two players that he'd be really familiar with, and both have extreme advantages. Hyman is a really aggressive forechecker, and Kapanen is a really good penalty killer and a solid two-way guy with size.
LT, when you look at I'm going to transition here. The Edmonton Elks, the announcement today that they're going to be opening up the second level down at Commonwealth. I believe right now 3 sections are open, and I would assume the tickets are going to be going pretty quickly. As Saskatchewan coming into this game as the slight favorite, which kind of blows my mind. We've talked to Declan about it, like the injuries that they face coming to Edmonton, where we're hoping the crowd's going to play a factor as well. How are you looking at this game? Maybe some revenge for the Rough Riders, but for the Edmonton Elks, the blueprint is there. They know what they have to do.
Yeah, I think that this is a great test for an up-and-coming team, and I'm not surprised the odds favor Saskatchewan. They're the veteran bunch, they're the Grey Cup winners. I think people look at the Rough Riders and go, man, they almost won, but they lost, so they're going to want to, announce their presence with authority. They're a veteran team. But, the Elks have really answered every challenge. They've had, the BC Lions had their number a little bit, but they have range. They can run the ball. They can, throw the ball. I like the receivers, how they've come along. I think we're watching the Elks as a team improve every week. So my feeling is that the Elks should be favored. I think the home crowd is going to have a lot to do with what happens. I'm thrilled that there's so many people. This is a walk-up city for concerts or whatever the case may be. Edmonton's always been, last 24 hours before the event kind of a city. So they're going to have a lot of people there. I know I've talked to some people who haven't sat up top for a while or ever. So it's going to be a new experience too. Absolute blast. I'm so excited about it. I think we in the media were kind of pulling for this to happen, years ago. They have been bad. They're not bad anymore. And the icing on the cake would be beating the Grey Cup champions twice in a row on the road and then at home sets up a nice Labor Day back and forth with Calgary and maybe even winning the division.
Yeah, you're right. Selfishly, this team has given us something to talk about, right? It's not just piling on them for their losses week to week. And are they handling their quarterback situation properly? What is the head coach doing? Like, it's giving us a positive thing to talk about, which is nice. And going around the city, talking to people, like, I'm not used to people bringing this team up. It hasn't been that way, about a decade. Like, hey, man, the Elks, we got a team here once again. So it is very nice to see. And you're right. Getting to watch it from up higher is quite the experience. You can see things, how they happen, just a little bit easier than the ground level, which I will say, if you're a football fan, you do have to go to a game and sit in the first couple of rows at least once just to gain a respect for the size, the athleticism, and hear the pads thump. But yeah, it's going to be an awesome game tomorrow down at Commonwealth. And I'm curious, hey, you're talking to your buddies. What should we do today? Let's walk up, LT. And I know that in the past, the walk up has killed them. So, if you're looking for something to do tomorrow, I got nothing better. The Riverhawks not in action. Stingers play tonight and Sunday, so why not go out?
Yep, exactly. And it's the when you go to the game, you will, especially if you've got kids, like, just take them and because they're going to see. So I remember driving up from Red Deer years ago when I worked at Red Deer Radio, and I drove. It was a really cold, kind of chilly fall day. There was snow/rain in the air. But I came up and I had great seats, and I watched Warren Moon throw the ball through the cold weather and the wind. And I've always remembered that. In my mind's eye, I can remember that moment. And if you take your youngsters and they watch the game, they're going to see something they'll remember a long time, and maybe they'll be inspired by it. And that's the great thing about live sports, especially at that level. These are tremendous athletes. They truly are.
Plus, for the young kids, concession. You got to take them. You got to get a souvenir. It's always a good time. The candy's unbelievable. LT, so this is my question. I've been asking it to our listeners. We're going to give tickets away in the next segment, I do believe. I'm going to put a situation here. So you're on the 10-yard line. You can have the quarterback of your choice. Doesn't matter. Down by 5, no time left on the clock. You have to throw the ball to one Elks or Eskimos receiver from the past. Who is it, and why is it Brian Kelly or Tom Scott?
It's Brian Kelly. He's my favorite all-time receiver among many. Like, Waddell Smith was great. George McGowan was great. But Kelly was the guy who he did two things. Number one, he found a quiet area. He just was really good at, even though he's caught a pile of passes, he could find a quiet area where he, not that he got forgotten about, but he could have escaped the coverage. And then when you threw him the ball, he was going to catch it. And so I would say you have to get it done. It's Brian Kelly, always for me. Never changed that answer since I watched him play.
And what route are they running?
Oh, probably. Scott would be a slant, so probably Kelly would run post and then a quick turn just inside the end zone.
Sounds like a successful one right there. LT, Eagles camp underway. Jalen Carter gets the big payday. Probably not a surprise. This guy was a stud, and how he fell to the Eagles, I know why, but it was crazy. He gets the payday. How are you feeling about the team this year?
I always feel good about the Eagles because Howie Roseman is the guy who drafts everybody and signs them. I just love that guy. I watched bad Eagles teams for exactly one forever until Howie got there. So I trust him absolutely. He drafts well. They seem to know when to get off the quarterback or the running back or the high-priced wide receiver when it's time. They're always built like in the trenches. And so I'm, when they sign somebody for big money, I'm confident that player will play well. I'm a little worried about the age in some of the areas. And that damn Declan keeps, making me feel insecure about Jalen Hurts and his shoulder. But other than that, I feel really good about the Eagles. I think they're going to have a really good year. Boo Dallas, go Eagles.
Declan makes you feel insecure?
Well, about the Eagles,
we're gonna have to have a conversation about that. Yeah, well, and you're right too. Like I will say, he is probably one of my favorite NFL general managers, and the AJ Brown one was probably the easiest decision he could have made. Like it just was time to move on. You go out and get Mekhi Lemon. I think that's a good move. The running game, we shall see. Jalen Hurts, I guess we'll find out once the season really gets going here. But it's going to be fun, and just hoping they all stay healthy. We get through these situations in training camp, and there's always these big injuries, dumb ACLs, and hopefully everyone stays healthy, and it'll be a good season this year. And we'll have to see. That division, I think it's there for the taking still, LT. I'm not ruling out the Cowboys. I'll rule out the Commanders and the Giants, but I think you got the top 2 spot in your future.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. Like, I keep hoping that Jones makes a dumb move, but he hasn't in a while. So I think Cowboys will be right there.
Yeah, well, we'll see if they get Max Crosby. That's the report that's out there. So we'll have to see. Oh, wow. LT, thanks for doing this. Enjoy the long weekend, and we'll talk to you on Tuesday.
You too, boys. See you later.
There you go. Alan Mitchell, the host of the Lowdown with Low Tide. I was kind of just like sarcastically saying the Oilers stuff because it's the Oil Report, and then actually there's things to discuss when it comes to the Oilers. We haven't done it in a while because I think it's kind of been discussed already. There's nothing new, but there's still things we can chat about. Wanye.
Go ahead, caller.
When you think about Babcock, and we know the history, we know all that sort of thing, the style of coaching. I brought up Colton Dock. Is there anyone for you that you think like, okay, maybe this is who he needs? Trent Frederick, perhaps.
It's tough to say, right? Is Babcock a coach from a different era when maybe the bad cop got a little bit more leeway,
longer leash,
right? I mean, you hear Zach Hyman, who is like the poster boy for Oilers that we love, saying that he had a great experience with Coach Babcock. Is that because Zach Hyman is not the kind of person to get in the doghouse of Mike Babcock, or is that because things are overblown? I don't know.
I think when you look at, Zach Hyman, he's a guy who that's the coach's dream, right? Seems to take everything in stride. Going into the playoffs last year, he was taken off the top line, or 2 seasons ago. What does he do? Well, play me lower. Okay, I'll just go lead the playoffs in hits. I will hit every single thing. Mm-hmm. To me, that's a guy who coach is going to love. The question becomes, and you hope that people have grown from the past, that there's not those issues, and that could be on the leadership group. Like, hey, you know what? You're getting a little hard on him. Take it easy. Maybe that squashes it, and it's not going to be a problem this year for the Oilers. I'm curious with Trent Frederick. I think that's a guy who, we've discussed the contract and the season that he had last year. The good news for him, last year's over. It's a new regime. It's a new coaching staff, and maybe it's not Babcock, but maybe it's some of the assistant coaches, the associates who get in there and kind of help him out. But that's in the past. He gets a chance to move forward, clean slate, and we shall see. Matthew Joseph, that's another good one from Alan Mitchell. I'm looking forward to this season. It's going to be here in no time. I mean, we're going to have real hockey in September. That's a good thing.
Do people change, Connor? This might be a bit profound for 5:40 on a Friday.
I think so.
Yeah?
I think so.
Really?
I mean, yeah, some people change. Not everyone. People can change.
Who's changed?
I think we've all changed.
Really?
I think we've all matured in life.
For the better?
Yeah.
I think keeping expectations in check is a really important thing in life. I don't know that Mike Babcock is going to turn into somebody like, is he could not possibly be considered a player's coach, could he?
If you like him, if he likes you. But I mean, just from what we've seen, I would say no.
Like, you could be the hardest coach in the world, the greatest thing you've ever seen in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you'd be hard pressed to find any issues with Connor or Leon's game, right?
At times, yeah. I mean, Leon was benched a couple years ago, took some bad penalties. It wasn't a long benching, but it was effective.
Apparently, in their pre-coaching conversations, Babcock was putting it on them, and saying, "You're the reason."
Maybe, and maybe that was refreshing for them, like to hear, like, here's what I can do for you guys. Here's what, you're not perfect. You haven't won a cup. These are the things we can do. I've won a cup. It was a long time ago, but I've won a cup. I've won gold medals. I've coached superstars. I can get the most out of you. And maybe that's totally different from what they heard from the previous coaches. And maybe that, spoke to them in a different way.
I wonder how Darnell Nurse was slated to do in a Mike Babcock dressing room.
Well, when we heard about the vets going to the meeting, he wasn't there, right? So maybe that was already on the wall. Like,
who do you think could be in his doghouse?
Babcock?
The goalies, maybe? Think he might get down on the tendies?
I hope not. You can't be doing that to goalies. I mean, just trying to think, like, they got pretty good hard workers. We'll see. I'm hoping nobody. I'm hoping that part's gone. And if they are, don't keep them around. Like, move on. If someone's not working, you're not going to fit in my system. I'm not going to belittle you. I'm not going to bench you. Let's just make a move. Let's send you to the Condors. Maybe you get claimed by another team, or let's trade you. Let's find you a place where you need to be. It's a business. It's not personal. That would be the mindset I would like to have from a coach/management staff.
If you're in charge, and hopefully one day you will be, Connor, knowing Tortorella now wasn't re-signed, would you have waited? If you wanted that hard coach to come in, would you pick Torts because at least he's more in the game?
There's a shelf life for him. And I mean, there's a window, which could be said about the Oilers with McDavid on a 2-year contract. Just also because he would have left Vegas and also got them like that penalty and stuff. I think maybe that would have been fun, but they had to make a move, right? They had to get that done sooner than later. But I mean, hey, a conversation would have been all right, I suppose. But I don't think he was committed to coaching this year either, was he? Because he had said like it was Vegas or nothing. So maybe they just respected that.
How long is the Babcock deal?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know if details have been released yet. 2 years, maybe?
How can that be? How can they just say, we're not going to tell you?
Oh, never has been that way, right? Doesn't matter, I guess. Maybe people have heard the contract. I haven't seen it.
Dak, have you seen anything about how long the term is?
So nothing official. I thought the rumor was 3 years.
Golly.
AI on Google says 2 years. But that's AI. 2 years. This must be about something else. Either way, we'll take a quick break here. When we come back, we're going to announce the winner of our contest. A couple tickets to the Elks game up for grabs. Also, Wanye's World. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and Twitch. Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Say hello to Alberta's home for reeling and dealing. With Play Alberta, you can spin into the excitement of popular slots like Cash Eruption and Desert Fantasy. Experience Alberta-exclusive games and get in on the action of live dealer tables with all new elevated stakes. However you prefer to play, the fun is ready when you are. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Mr. Rooter has deja vu. Mr. Rooter has deja vu.
The bathroom is right over there, Mr. Rooter.
Well, thank you, good sir. Wait, I swear I've plunged this toilet before. It was clogged with a snow globe. Am I living in a time loop? Oh, good. It's just a voodoo doll that looks exactly like me. Whew, what a relief.
For a plumbing experience you'll want to relive, call Mr. Rooter.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need, Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
And now Action Electrical's testing team is on defense duty. They're the guardians of safety and compliance, a critical part of any lineup.
Precisely. They perform rigorous safety and code compliance testing for commercial operations. Think of them as the referees, ensuring everything is up to standard before disaster strikes.
Their preventative plays are legendary, spotting faults early. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
It's cone season at McDonald's, which means vanilla cones are $1 each plus tax in the McDonald's app all summer long. Soft, creamy, and crunchy. For just $1 each plus tax exclusively in the McDonald's app. App download and registration required at participating McDonald's in Canada.
Thinking of growing your business? In partnership with Prairie's Can, the Alberta Chambers of Commerce is helping businesses explore new opportunities, new markets, and build connections through organized trade missions across Canada. Find the right mission for you at abchamber.ca/trade missions.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Hi, Edmonton. With summer adventures calling, there's no better way to answer than from behind the wheel of your Subaru WRX. The WRX delivers turbocharged performance, confidence-inspiring Subaru all-wheel drive, and the kind of driving excitement that makes you look for excuses to hit the road. Summer won't last forever, but the memories will. So make sure you give yourself something to remember. Visit your local Subaru dealer today and test drive the WRX yourself. Welcome to Uncommon.
Photographers, start your cameras. Vision Credit Union's annual photo contest is back. We're asking you to show us the people, places, and moments that made you glad you chose this rural life. Maybe it's the view from your farm, a walk down Main Street, neighbors pitching in, a weekend at the rodeo, or a sunset down a back road. Share your photo to show why life in rural Alberta is a choice worth celebrating. Enter and vote at whatsyourshare.ca.
You're listening to The Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Alberta.ca.
Portions of this hour are brought to you by CanTorque, made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at www.cantorque.com.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$5:49. Welcome back. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440. Connor Halley, got Declan Kruger, Wanye Gretz, Mackenzie McLennan with you here. Having a good time. Hey, Wanye, we're having fun today.
Having a great time.
Having a
Positive
good time.
Friday.
We're giving away tickets. Scalding Gourd, you're going to the game. Tommy Scott, and late to come in here. How about Fred Stamps from Brenda? Brenda, you're going to the game as well. So we'll send you 2 tickets, and we'll throw in a parking pass as well because I'm feeling dangerous. Make sure you get there early to use those parking passes. Thank you, Carrie, I believe, for those passes as well. That's awesome. No more tickets to give away, Wanye, but it is time for Wanye's World. What do you got today?
It's going to be a full house of the Elks game. That's good news. Well, we're doing a fundraiser, Connor, down in the River Valley. There's been a lot of talk lately about the Edmonton businesses have been impacted by, I don't know, every single road downtown being under construction simultaneously. It's bad for business. I don't know if you heard this. It's tough. I mean, we're a long way out here at the mall. You may not go downtown.
I don't go downtown often.
But downtown's going through a challenging period. So we wanted to help at the River Valley Company where I work, and we are giving a portion of our revenue every week to a different restaurant downtown. So if you come into Dogpatch, you come into Little Brick, get some dinner, get some brunch, a portion of our sales go. And today we gave our first restaurant $2,000, Danya's downtown, and we bought 40 $50 gift cards, which we are now giving away on social media.
Danya Ukrainian Kitchen.
That's correct. So I just wanted to shout it out. I think it's a good thing to do. I think downtown businesses need our support. And if you come down to Dogpatch or Little Brick, get some brunch this weekend, we'll be making a donation every week to a different downtown restaurant and putting it all on our social media.
I love it. How much of the proceeds goes? Do you know?
It depends.
Depends
on a few things. We've had people make donations in addition.
Oh, okay, cool.
So that kind of gets things up. We had a company this week give us $1,000. Unbelievable.
Really?
So it's kind of a mix of taking donations and a portion of our sales.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, supporting local is crucial. And especially downtown, like some of the things that have happened this year where, the fee to have a patio, like, come on, what are we doing here? And then like with the traffic, like you say, then you factor in the weather, like, man, it's tough to run a local business. So good on you guys for supporting. And if you're in the vicinity, get out there and walk downtown, go to these restaurants, support them, or Dog Patch.
And Little Brick, yeah.
And Little Brick.
It's really important to have a vibrant downtown.
Mhm.
It's really important to have a vibrant White Ave. And we got to do our best to try to help these folks along during a challenging time.
Now, if you're at Dog Patch or Little Brick, let's say Dog Patch for this one. What's the menu? What are you going for?
Well, you got to get a burger in. Yeah, we just launched a smash burger. That's pretty delicious.
You got poutine.
Oh, yeah. We
The
got
Nation poutine.
Yeah, come on now. Delicious eggs Benedict.
How's the pizza?
Pizza's great.
Yeah.
Freshly made dough in-house. What more could you want?
It's calling me, to be honest with you.
Come on now, Connor.
Might
Come
have to
on down.
Come on down.
Bring down the fam.
Yeah. Love the area down there.
Go for a walk after. The river's high. It's beautiful.
You'll buy me a coffee at
Sure.
Little Brick?
It's my honor.
I'll just come down and say, yeah, Wanye said this was on the house.
Actually, when you say his name, it's twice the price, and you get hair in your food.
You got sucked in. A great little vibe down there. We were there a couple of years ago picking up some Oilers Nation stuff, and I was like, I could see myself hanging out here.
Yeah,
a lot of different types of people, things like that, and good spot. So that's cool. Any website you guys like where people can go find more information?
Just follow us on Instagram, Dog Patch Yeg, Little Brick Yeg. We're doing updates every week where you can see the money's going and where it needs to go, and a little feature on the business that gets the money. So it's a good program.
Scalding Gore says that's such a great thing, man. Helping downtown restaurants. Nice work.
Thank you very much.
The vibes are good. Jay's in action right now, bottom of the third, taking on the Cardinals. Our own Donovan Paulson taking in this series. Went down this morning at 7:30. Posted on Instagram the 5 a.m. beer, which is a staple of travelers in our great country and city. He's going to miss this one, but check out the next. Tonight, though, this game will be on Sports 1440 AM feed only. We'll join that coming up next. If you're streaming, you got Fox Sports Radio. Got to thank all of our guests today for coming on the show. It was a lot of fun. We had a good time as usual. We had Bill Schmidt, Green Bay Packers post-game host Colin Stevenson, Newsday Rangers reporter Arif Hassan looked around the NFL with us. We had Cam Tate's 2-minute warning, Eddie Steele, Speck, Mitchell, and Wanye. And shout out to Declan and Mackenzie as well, keeping us on track here. They do the hard work. I just get to sit here and talk. It's awesome. And we'll be back to do it again, I believe, Tuesday, Wednesday. I don't know when Gregor gets back. Sometime next week. Got to keep it on edge there. Again, if you missed anything, make sure you go check out the podcast, Sports 1440 AM on YouTube, Google, Apple, Spotify. We're everywhere. Go make sure you check us out and tune in over the weekend as well. As, of course, we've got live nonstop radio sports, Fox Sports. We got the Jays and all that. It's going to be a good time. Right now, let's get to one final Sports 1440 update with Declan Kruger, brought to you by Sean Cunningham of Remax Real Estate. Get the home team advantage for your next move in the Edmonton area. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, call or text Sean directly, 780-265-0165. Good night.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Fourth round of the Major Leagues of Baseball right now. The Reds lead the Pirates 5-4 in the bottom of the sixth. Phillies up 3-2 on the Orioles in the bottom of the third. Jays and Cards tied 0-0 at the end of the third. In the bottom of the third, the Guardians lead the Diamondbacks 1-0. Marlins and Mets tied 0-0 in the fourth. And the Braves up 2-0 on the Nats. Only final so far from today was the Yankees over the Cubs 2-0. Currently in the CFL, Montreal leads Ottawa 7-3 with 6:50 to go in the first quarter. Edmonton in action tomorrow at 5 p.m. playing host to Saskatchewan. Joseph Cooper drawing into the starting lineup for Cam Carter at the right guard position. In the sporting world, Tony Romo placed on leave by CBS Sports following his arrest. The Roughriders placing AJ Ouellette on the 6-game IR, and the San Jose Sharks re-signing Colin Graff to a 3-year, $12.75 million extension. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station, broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.